Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
O'Donnell has it blocked. Into the end zone in a race. And a touchdown. Sam Williams blocked it.
And here's a deflection by Logan Nisley. Knocked it away from Calderon. Up the floor, Claire Johnson makes a fake, puts it up, and it counts. And a foul. That's the fake of the year so far. 6.5 minutes into it, as she did a ball fake and finished and will shoot the end one.
Yeah. Lawrence. Little sidestep three on the way, no. Rebound, Butengill kicks it back out to Lawrence, shoots another one. This one's on the way. Got it! There's the fifth three of the game for Nebraska. One by Hoiberg, one by Lawrence, and Nebraska's up a dozen.
I thought the effort of the guys that won't be here, in the future when all those things come to fruition, I thought the way they rallied around Dylan when he got hurt, and then rallied around TJ, the way that they carried themselves, the way that they played. I think it's the first time that they've been held under 21 points this season. USC's offense was the first time that they've been held to 337 yards since 2023. I thought the way they fought and battled and competed for each other when they had some bad breaks. I think those are the things you can build off of. I thought with Troy Dannon, Courtney Gaucher, and Brandon Meyer, and the marketing everyone did with the blackout will have a profound impact on what we're trying to get done moving forward. I thought our crowd, our student section, and I'm standing out there with 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 4-star after 4-star, and saying, look at that student section. They guys said, I've never seen anything like it. And while we're disappointed, we still show up the next day to work and we meet with all the recruits and we talk to them, and they're ecstatic about what they saw here.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB? You going to talk today or not?
Yeah, how we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Just switching it up a bit.
Just give them the what up.
What's up?
What it do?
It's a long day yesterday. I was just slaying folks one after another.
Yeah, you were active on social media yesterday.
Yeah, you just, I don't know, man. Sometimes it just, like if it's, I don't know, it's just getting kind of out of hand with foolishness. Like, I think people just, I don't know. It's like parrot or don't watch or don't know. So I don't like to make fun of people's aptitude. You typically know my style.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the facts. This is my opinion. Like, I'll differentiate between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll just say, hey, do with it what you will. I don't want to change anybody's mind. I just want to give you as much information as I can, and whatever you do with it is up to you. I do like kind of the moving of the goalposts. Like when I don't say and respond the way people want me to, it eventually always gravitates towards something else. But I'm just not going to be the guy. I was telling this to Queen yesterday. For as much as a guy like him could check on me, he's probably checking on me.
Yeah.
But it sounds a little something like this. Are you pulling your hair out with some of these responses about Lateef versus Dylan? I was like, oh, do you care? He's like, no, just curious. So anyway, like, it's just, I don't know, man. The whole run defense thing, and I don't know, I watched that. I could recite almost every play if you really wanted to go through it. But I believe if Dylan doesn't get hurt, they win that game by like 17 points. So he got hurt and they didn't. So now this could go.
Yeah.
I was thinking of all these scenarios, and I listened to the presser again, and I think it boils down to a handful of things. If you're glass half full and if you're going to look at this like a coach and the players, you got one way to do this, where you learned from Minnesota that you better stop basing it on what you think the opponent is. You better understand and establish what your own standard is. So I would guess, I'm speculating here, so I'm taking a few liberties. But if inside those walls, coaches were very pleased with the performance and a lot of capacities, but still didn't get the win, you better figure out how to handle that. Because there's this. I'm going to give you this is the coach and the player.
Yeah,
because the player could hear, man, I played well. We did this, this, and this that was better than anybody else did against them.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets the caveat: we didn't win. So the coaches can either double down on the process and hope that the result is different, or you could kind of fall victim to, man, we played well. It's UCLA. We don't have to approach it the same. Do you know what I mean? So the new emotional chapter in this one is exceeding, because remember when I said, I should have said it differently, but it's off the cuff. And when I said, this isn't the type of game that I expected Nebraska to lose.
That's stylistically.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really code for saying you look like the better team for a lot of that game.
And you basically got that game to be played how you wanted it to be.
You did what you wanted to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that surprised me a little bit. I thought they were going to have to.
But then there's the variable in there that nobody accounted for, which is your starting quarterback getting hurt.
Yeah, and so I'm going to
I mean,
set that to the side.
Yeah, but that's how those things can exist at the same time.
100%.
Right.
Like I get how I landed at the result. What they've got to understand is that can't be good enough for them.
Sure.
So it's different.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't say to yourself, well, if Dylan plays, we win that game.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say, it doesn't matter who's playing.
What could we have done
to change the outcome?
Yeah.
So that's the difference. So you have to balance whatever's being.
Yeah.
And I'm taking a few liberties based on how the presser went, where you're kind of lauding the performance, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Go back and there were so many good things that they did to get that game to where it was pre-injury, and I understand, but you also are talking to somebody that was never under the guise that Nebraska was going to shut this running game down. I talked about it all week. I tried to walk guys through it. You're going to see three things, and they're going to do it with tight ends, and they can do it with a guard and a tackle, and they can do it from here. Then they added this nice little wrinkle of following counter with design cutback, where, man, it's just a nightmare.
Well, and then following counter with the QB run aspect of it.
Yeah, that's
they hadn't done a ton of.
You can see that, though. Like, you can envision the next evolution of zone read keep.
Sure.
Okay. So the funny thing about that is they would run it with and against misdirection. So it's a very simple concept, but it certainly is not easy to define.
Well, it stresses the defense a lot, right?
Oh, yeah. It puts you in constant conflict.
Right.
So I never went into that game thinking, man, they're about to bottle this run game up. I was terrified of this run game, right? Because I know it would keep me up for a long time. And so when I saw it getting mucked up and not giving up points, I'm like, that's fine. There's a reason this team is number one in the country and expected yards. I explained what expected yards were. It means if they're supposed to go 60 yards when they get the ball in the 40, they go 60 yards. If they're supposed to go 75 yards, they go 75. Like, they're the best in the country at maximizing their yards expected. So it's not like I was thinking to myself, oh, man, Nebraska's going to slow them. They're going to do, that wasn't my thing. I was like, this is going to be 6 versus 3s and limit explosives. Yeah. So.
Which they did, by the way.
I like him. I met him here at the Jet Awards. For all intents and purposes, good dude. Took the Penn State, Nebraska jokes I was giving him to heart.
Blackledge.
But you just have to be careful what you run with. And I listened to him talk about, the 3-3-5 and its philosophical design and how, in the NFL, you're going to be less willing to give up balls being thrown over your head and concede some of the run. And yes and no, but don't think that Butler doesn't know that either.
Mm-hmm.
So what did everybody regurgitate? Well, Blackwood said. And so I'm like, Fudge, you guys, like, do you watch? And I get frustrated, but I shouldn't. Because sometimes people just don't know. So I'm like, all right, let me just get the data. Four down, 5 down. How many times, when I say 4 down, I mean guys with their hands in the dirt.
Yeah.
4 down, 5 down, 3 down, 3 down with a pressure, 3 down with a jack walked up. And I get that part is kind of nuanced. So you can do with that what you will. That's a very.
But you can look at that and count. Like, that's not diagnosing a play. Like, you can.
Yeah, but to the person, whomever's watching it, like, they may say to me, well, who cares if it's a jack? He's 235 pounds. I'm not counting him as a D lineman. Okay. Like, I understand that.
Sure.
So I look at spacing, like how you would line up in an odd front. So but again, that's nuance, and I'm not expecting to have that conversation.
You mean, like, are they like gap or bear?
Yeah,
or
I don't expect. Sometimes that's not fun unless you're talking to people that actually want to get in the weeds, right? And that's not who I want to be either. So unless asked. So we just kept coming out with these things, and I'm like, we're talking about the wrong thing. Like, we're so hell bent on the underside. Like, you're not getting that back. You're not getting 6th year Ty Robinson. And by the way, you guys hated on Nash for half that season, wondering what was wrong with him and why he wasn't as good the year before. So I'm not even entertaining that. Right? You have to play the hand you're dealt.
Yeah, you're not getting a 24-year-old defensive tackle.
And then it's like, why didn't they go get a such and such and such and such tackle? Because you don't want this is now again. What they call is 888-638. I like interaction, so maybe I'm missing something.
4876.
Yeah, that.
You forgot. That's all right.
So it's like you don't want the mixed message of, I know you're young, you're not good enough yet. This is what we're going to do until we think you're good enough, because then you're getting very particular. Can I get a 1 or 2 year impact 310-pound guy in the portal that can help us win? That's oddly specific.
Also, how are those guys going to get better?
But listen,
am I crazy?
I'm not even there yet.
Okay, sorry. That's the first thing my head went to.
I'm not even there yet.
All right.
So if you want a stopgap, it's very specific.
Like Rocco Spindler was very specific.
Well, have we only gotten Rocco for 1 year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a one and done.
So with those guys versus stymieing the growth of guys you think are going to be good it's an intricate cat and mouse. And then you get into just fiscal savvy. At that time, you don't know what the numbers are going to bear. You don't know what you're going to have to get down to. So it's really myopic to think that the foreshadowing would be this perfect. And I'm not mad that people think that. What I'm telling you is this is how I think they thought. I think you got a couple of guys in the portal that you thought could help you.
Gabe Moore and Jalen George.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have played at different times.
You thought you're gonna develop some other guys.
You thought Van Poppel would be ready to go.
Which is happening.
Thought Judy
you
would be
thought
ready to go.
schematically you were gonna play a different way than you did it the year before because of what you wanted to do with your personnel.
And changing coordinator. And defensive line coach.
So that's where they're at. We cannot like the results. But again, it's hard to argue with the statistical data in terms of points scored and where they are points given up.
Mm-hmm.
They're right on par with where they were a year ago with a much younger team, and they're missing the two studs that everybody's lamenting over. It just looks
We don't like
different.
how it looks. We don't like how it looks.
And I'm not,
which is fine.
Yeah,
That's
right?
totally fine. I'm
Like,
saying
I'm not
that's the difference.
Yeah, I'm not telling you to like it. I'm saying that's the difference, right? So they're not giving up the chunk plays on 3rd and long where they're having balls thrown over their head. Like, we're not having
that's largely gone.
We're not having the conversations that we had 55 trillion times. You know what people aren't in our inboxes or my DMs or in the stream saying? Why are we playing so far off? Why are we conceding this? Why are we giving up these catches? Like, we're not having those conversations. Yeah. So I'm cool. I am, I swear. I am. I'm cool with having conversations about how it looks and the results and the ground game and the pass defense. But it's oddly weird how we want it all. And we want it all at the same time.
So I think is really key.
I think it's like it's just not going to be that way. And to be frustrated and mad or just bitch and moan over the same thing that isn't being fixed right now, like, I don't understand what you want the alternative to be.
Yeah, so there's a couple things.
That's what I'm interested in, and I'll hear it out. Like, you can walk me through it, and I'll be like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not necessarily interested in changing your mind as much as I want to know what my options were given what we're watching right now that you think we could flip and get everything right at the same time.
So there's two things there that I think are really key. One is the not liking how it looks, and two is wanting to be able to stop everything all the time.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the wanting to be able to stop everything. That's just not real.
Not in today's game.
Like, it's just not, right? You have to be so much more talented and have such better coaching than the other team that's just not going to happen very often against like opponents, right?
Yeah.
USC's a good football team. They're ranked for a reason. They still have a path to the college football playoff. Like, they're, I think, reasonably like opponents to Nebraska talent-wise. I actually also think they're fairly like opponents coaching-wise to Nebraska, despite what some of the narratives were after the game. I think good on good, the coaching probably evens out over the course of the staffs, right? Maybe you like the offensive Lincoln Riley a little bit better. Maybe you like this from Nebraska a little bit better. I think it evens out over the coaching-wise over the course of the staffs. When those two things are true, you're not going to stop everything. Yeah. Guess what? USC didn't stop everything either. EJ ran for more yards than King Miller did. That's a thing that happened. Like, do you know how many yards per game USC is averaging rushing on the year?
I know you probably looked this up, so go ahead.
203. You know how many yards Nebraska gave up rushing?
202.
Right? So nothing happened to Nebraska that wasn't happening to literally every other team that USC played this year. Yeah. And Nebraska held USC to literally 200 yards fewer passing, which no one else had done this year, right? So, like, Nebraska took one thing away that nobody else could, and stayed at the exact same average that everyone else is.
And I'm not trying to – we got to hear my heart here. I'm not trying to justify or quantify the losing. The conversation I'm interested in having, and I rock with Headley, so I think this is interesting.
Mm-hmm. What do you say?
So I lost it. He said, people are just frustrated, DB. As fans, we've been pounded into the ground every year for a decade. Headley, cool dude. I think you're extremely funny. But I will say this. Your vantage point can't be the only one that counts. Imagine being all the players that lose and get their ass kicked in the meantime. We're just we're cheering as the losers go by, paying for tickets and whatever else. And somehow we've convinced ourselves then that's more difficult. I'm not saying more important. Hear the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Mhm.
We're saying that that's more difficult than to lay your body on the line and get your teeth kicked in. And if there's a lack of appreciation on both sides, this is where you have friction. I'm not saying you can't be frustrated.
Absolutely.
I listen, man.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. Samesies. What I'm saying is you want both vantage points. You want to tell me that you're kind of a victim. I'm not going to put that on you. You want to tell me that, hey, I just want you to understand how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to critique the product at the same time. So it's either about your feelings because you've been pounded into the ground, or you're going to talk about the product while you're being pounded into the ground. But the minute somebody says something about you, it's why don't we understand? That's the part that is weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
You get your cake and eat it too. You get to say, hey, I paid my hard-earned money. I get to do this. It's just part of the deal. I'm frustrated. This is what you hear. If you're criticized for doing that, or people are like, okay, but what if the players did that to you? Then it would be, or the coaching staff did that to you, or the media did that to you. Then you would have your lip pile. You'd have the pouty pants on. Like, that's all I'm saying. So regardless of how you feel, that's the part I'm not trying to change. I'm not. I swear.
Because you can't. I mean, you can't change how somebody feels.
And I've done this long enough where it doesn't, like, they'll be fine. Right? Just frustrated.
They'll come back around.
So my only approach to this really is to just kind of educate. Like, I'm not going to ever be a guy that's going to throw the baby out with the bathwater until that coach is no longer here. When that coach is gone, then I'll give up on him. Or if I think it's hopeless and I foresee the end coming, then I'm not going to offer solutions about what's actually can happen on the field, probably. Now, I've had to do that a couple times. But I'm still not going to go out of my way to bury folks, because what I want to do is I want to find solutions. So I'm probably only going to talk solutions. Even in telling you that Nebraska has, how they approach this week has options, I'm telling you how it's going to go down. This team is either going to emotionally say, you know what, the one time, if you ask those guys, the one time or the two times they took their foot off the gas during a course of a week of practice, relative to what they expected, not that they took the week off because it felt like they were taking the week off. It's where they allowed the opponent to set the standard.
Minnesota.
Am I clear on that?
Yeah.
They got their teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
See, it's the one anomaly of how it goes. Now, you've lost other games.
Sure. That one
but
was the one
that one is
different.
the one that looked different.
Yeah.
So they got, like I said, they got two options. You can understand how you got to the performance you had against SC, even though it wasn't good enough, and double down, or you can rest in the fact that there's probably a sentiment that you played well enough to win in that game and take your chances on the road. That's where your emotional maturity will kick in.
Yeah.
Because the coaches are going to have to double down on the process and hope to break through. That's the only way you can really coach, in my opinion, with these guys. And that's how they're going to respond.
Well, I mean, there are other options, but I don't think they're good ones. Like, I mean, you could.
No, I do think they have a couple of advantages emotionally to keep them from doing the latter.
Yeah. Because you could panic. Like, that's on the that's on the table.
I think there's two things that are going to help them from the falling into the latter emotionally, where they won't go out today and the next day and put their tails on the line physically, because that's worked for you. So you have to do it again, and you have to do it again without it being opponent specific. You have to really start to feel what it feels like to bust your ass every session, every group work, every pre-practice. You have to walk off the field and be able to tell yourself, It just doesn't feel like I laid it on the line during that drill.
Mhm.
When you start getting there, then it doesn't matter if it's Minnesota or Maryland or UCLA or USC,
Mhm.
right? That's the practical application of what we say, where you don't play up or down to your opponent. You just have to know. You just have to practice you have to prepare at a certain level every time, where you noticeably know it feels right when you didn't get there,
Mhm.
right? There's a reason people will tell you we had an awful week of practice against Texas. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Right? And it had anything to do with Texas. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Right? We just didn't get to the standard. We're whining about sickness, and we're subbing guys in and out, and we barely talked about. Listen, it happens.
Mhm.
So but there's two things that I think are built-in advantages to keep you dialed in. Number one, you're playing with your number 2 quarterback.
Mhm.
That's going to keep you zeroed in, because you immediately have to think,
You're on alert.
I'm on high alert.
Yeah.
What do I need to do in order? We're going to Manhattan, and this is our quarterback situation. What do the other units have to do to put him in a position to succeed?
Mhm.
That's how you have to think.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they can pull it off, but I'm saying that's how you have to think.
And it sounds like from the presser, that's what they are thinking.
Yeah, but it's just day 1 really of prep.
1.5.
So I don't know yet.
Yeah.
And trust me, I hadn't lied to me yet. So I'm going to take him at his word.
Yeah.
But number 2, and this is where I think Coach Rule is really good. Most people don't think you're going to win anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they're dogs.
So that right there automatically dials your ass in.
Mhm.
If you want to compete. Now, you can lay down. That's an option.
It is.
That's an option.
It is. Always.
You can lay down.
Mhm.
But those two things, I think, will allow them to crank it up again. I asked a guy yesterday, and it's sad because I can't even really ask my son, because he knows what I'm getting at, so I can't really trick him.
Hmm.
So I asked a couple other guys, say, man, how was the day off? Almost to a man, 3 for 3. It wasn't really a day off for us. They call it a day off, but this is what we've got to do considering what time we're leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Now I'm willing to just see what happens.
Sure.
At least I know what I think the mindset is.
That they'll get the work done.
You have to put the work in.
And then you'll take your chances with the results.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to double down. And I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. It's hard because I think you feel like you played well. So you're naturally going to naturally want to fight that tendency.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know what it feels like in preparation. That's what I'm fascinated to see, because I mean, listen, unless I'm just saying, hey, this is going to happen, which you never want to.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
that's what's going to happen.
Let me ask a question here, because I'm trying to draw a parallel to, hey, we felt like we played well enough to win. We got something that went against us, whether it's an injury, whether it's whatever, and you come back and you kind of double down on the process, right? So my mind goes to Florida State 93. Do you feel like you played well enough to win that game?
Yes.
Some things didn't go your way. You lose that game, right?
Correct.
Miss a kick, fumble at the goal line, whatever you want to call it, right? Like there's some things.
Right.
Off season in 94. Or off season from 93 to 94, right?
Mm.
You don't say, hey, we played well enough to win. That's all we need to do.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. You're using best case scenario.
Sure.
So let me just back it down for a second.
Yeah.
Because it's possible in 2025, and be realistic, it takes leadership.
Sure.
It takes internal leadership.
And by 93, 94, you guys had good leadership.
Because
on
even
that team
wasn't as good as the results. Like, that team was about leadership.
Sure, absolutely.
And it's funny. Stu was on campus. He must have been on campus this week, because he sent me a picture with Caleb and had some funny comment. And I texted him back. I said, that guy has no idea really what you meant to that program in terms of mental toughness.
I think a lot of people don't.
That's all I said, though.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like Butkus, Ed Stewart.
No.
I'm talking about like leadership.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about like toughness, Abdul Muhammad. I'm talking about leadership. I'm not talking about toughness or super athletic Outland Trophy Zach Weger. I'm talking about leadership where they're I said this to a couple parents at the Osborne complex.
Mm-hmm.
It was strangely subdued. I mean, usually there's people lined up along the walls.
This is after the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
But everybody was kind of sitting down on the foyer. It looked like there was kind of in an auditorium. And I was like, fudge. I'm just kind of watching, and I'm totally in the corner. I'm just waiting for Lob to come out. And you see a couple of guys. I try to get my RVP. Like, there's just a couple of things I do, but I'm off. You know, Toby Wright, like, I always see him. It's the same, right? And all I could think of, I swear to goodness, and this is, I didn't know anything about Dylan. All I could think of was, man, you guys have got to figure out, if you only have 70, 75%, give it all.
Can you get to that 77?
Right. I talked about this yesterday because that's really the key. Whatever you have to give when you don't feel great mentally and physically, give it
Empty
all.
the tank.
Just empty it.
Yeah.
And then see where that gets you. Because there's just this natural tendency, if you ride the emotional waves or you're waiting for the perfect play call, it's like you'll play to how you feel. It's just how people are.
That's how we're wired.
Like,
unless you train yourself otherwise.
You have to train that way.
Like, there is
even if you can't individually only train that way, you have to have enough people around you that get it out of you and they can see when it's not happening.
Yes. Like, at some point there's a tipping point, right? Where there's enough people around you that
So the 94 thing, I get it. It sounds myopic. This isn't the 90s. So I'm just going to drill it down to what it really was, and it was leadership.
Sure.
So these
part of why I brought that up.
These next 3 games take tremendous leadership because they're all winnable and you're capable of losing them all.
Yeah.
But what you better not do is waver from a mindset standpoint. You better, if you approach every day of every week the same and you empty the clip, you give yourself a more than ideal chance given how the opponent breakdown is. Right? Because you showed what you're capable of against much more what I would call talented teams.
Weird question here. How many games in 94 did you think you were capable of losing?
Oh, shoot, I don't know. Probably none of them.
Not in the moment. I mean, like, realistically looking back, could you have lost the Wyoming game?
Oh, yeah, we almost did.
Could you have lost Kansas State?
Yeah.
Could you have lost Colorado?
Yeah.
Could you have lost Iowa State?
Probably not.
Okay. Could you have lost Oklahoma?
We could have.
So 3 or 4 games, and then Miami obviously could have lost that game.
Yeah.
So we're talking 4 games easily in that stretch.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why, like, I don't bring up 94 because it's 94.
I get it.
I bring up 94 because we think of that team in a certain way, but because of the leadership that you're talking about, games that were losable became part of this legacy of winning.
Yeah.
Right? Games that are losable the next 3 weeks can become part of this legacy of winning if Nebraska has the leadership to get through them.
Yeah. So when we go to Manhattan, like, ask those guys, like, what is it going to take?
Isn't that the Turman game, Manhattan?
Yeah.
Yeah, like third-string quarterback. Like,
yeah. Like, what's it going to take?
Yeah. How do we win this game against a top 20 ranked team, by the way?
You know, not like an underappreciated, like, one of the reasons I love that game, people will talk about our defense, and it was fantastic. But I remember Makovic being hurt. Didn't feel good. Had the ankle. He had a bad hammy. He was taped up like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And I'm telling you, like, he just didn't want to concede reps in practice, right? We had a hammer already in Schlesinger, but we had like these packages. And even though he wasn't the guy, he was a guy next to the guy. He just didn't want to concede reps. because he's thinking, I'll never. And I have this weird affinity for him. Because he was never healthy and he was always undersized. And I'm telling you, this dude just didn't want anybody to get reps. He and Schuster would go back and forth. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating study of how the mind works.
Yeah.
Because they both thought that they were better than each other, but they found this way to coexist. And when you have a guy that's out there with, like, during practice and everything's kind of packaged up, he's like, well, these two guys can't play. And if this guy plays, he's got a broken rib. I'm pretty sure I can be out there. Like, that's how he thought.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't tell that story to prop up Mac. I'm saying it's portable in 2025 with the same mindset. If I'm McCullough or Spindler or I'm Justin Evans and I look at Rocco and I'm like, this dude, they just pieced his skin together. He put on a buddy splint. He's out here rocking, and this guy can't play. I probably ought to lay it on the line going to Southern Cal.
Shavers out there with a club. And,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I probably ought to lay this on the line. If you take Shavers. Like, I know I'm a quarterback player on that run. Like, I know I'm a QB player. These guys are talking about the rush statistics. If I make that play, man, like,
we're having a different conversation.
See, at some point, the beautiful thing about this game is it has to at some point be personal. If it never gets to the point where it's personal, then you don't care enough about the outcomes. Those people are the worst to coach. You rather have a guy that's all in or all out. When the outcomes aren't important enough to get you to dial into the process, it's over. So you have to ask yourself, if you think Isaiah Hunter isn't thinking, why he probably didn't sleep a wink.
I got to come down with that ball.
I got to come down with that ball. That's probably
TJ gave me a chance. I got to come down with that ball.
You need that to bug you so much you will not let Pasadena pass you by, because you're not supposed to win. Nobody's saying anything good about you, and you're playing with your number 2 quarterback. Dial in.
Yeah.
Now, again, you have to combat the fact that your staff is probably telling you how well you played against SC for the dose of reality, right? But at the end of the day, the task, you didn't get the job done.
Yeah.
So just imagine balancing that.
Yeah.
That's why it can go one of two ways. But again, the two sneaky X factors that I think you have to use as a pro are the fact you're going on the road and people don't think you're going to win, and you're going on the road with a guy that you want to protect. Shoot, if I'm Nebraska, they won't. This is a hot take. You're going to be like, I'm being a baby. I shouldn't even say it.
Go for it. Go for it.
I don't think you let TJ do interviews. I don't think you let him talk to the media.
At all this week?
Nah.
Just shut her down?
Yeah. I mean, maybe you let, like, Kyle or Jess talk to him, because that's
like Sports Nightly or something.
That's the network.
Yeah.
And it's
protected a little.
And I don't even know if I'd do that.
Yeah.
But I'd shut him down. But I'm consistent too, because I didn't want Taylor talking to the media either.
Yeah.
Now for different
reasons. Yeah.
For different reasons. But man, in a game like this, you need all hands on deck. And somebody's got to do something that they ordinarily wouldn't do. And you need enough guys to do it.
Yeah.
That's the key. I mean, UCLA is kind of a mirror image of what you're going through. They're good in the ground game. They're really good with QB run game. They're last in the league in explosives. You guys are both bottom in the 120s of rushing yards given up. Nebraska's got an advantage on special teams, even though your special teams, like, if you think those guys are satisfied with how that game went against SC, because quietly, that's the one unit that we've kind of let off the hook that isn't letting themselves off the hook. And that's how you won it.
I mean, I said it in post game, like, that was a game where that maybe was one of the first games this year that I didn't think special teams made a game-winning play.
Yeah.
They were fine.
Oh.
That's what, honestly, this is what I expected special teams to look like in the offseason, where I was like, just get to fine, right? Just get to a point where you're not losing the game. But they had gotten to the point through 7, 8 games, whatever it was, that they had helped win games.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do that against USC. There was nothing they did against USC that actively helped Nebraska win that game.
And sometimes, do you know how hard it is sometimes to handle the yeah buts,
mm-hmm.
as opposed? So you don't say. So if you're this staff, this is just me. Like you're saying and not
mm-hmm.
but. You're saying, hey, we did this, this, and this against SC, and we need to do. You're not saying but, because the minute you say but,
sure,
it's like
defensive and let the air out,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be fascinating, and you get to go on the road,
mm-hmm. which is kind of galvanizing anyway, right?
It is,
to a certain degree,
and they've learned how to travel in packs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always say this to our guys: like the lone wolf is always the one that gets picked off,
mm-hmm.
right? So you got to stay together, and on the road it's much easier to do that. It's a heck of an opportunity, because like all bets are off, because it's going to test your emotional maturity.
And you just don't know. You just don't know.
I'm excited.
Right? We don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the excitement there. To everybody in the stream, DB's not drinking Dorothy Lynch. That's Gatorade. It's a Gator Light.
I don't even like Dorothy Lynch.
They see the orange bottle and everybody.
Oh.
Apparently everybody thinks it's Dorothy Lynch.
Sorry, no free advertisements. This is
it's an electrolyte product.
Yeah. I haven't even opened it yet. But this was such trash. Sometimes I just pull this out of the fridge and I forget what's in there. There's some old fruit in here.
Yeah.
But I had some. So I don't know where we got them from. Probably someplace fancy. Then I would cringe at the price. But fantastic grapes in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Big fatties. Big grapes guy. And finally somebody broke down and got purple. We always get green. I rock with all grapes.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a little variety.
Sure. So,
yeah, I feel like are you placating me?
No, not at all. You give me this look. I don't know.
It's fine.
I thought the way you said variety struck me a little funny. That's all.
Shane, should we get to Derek?
Yeah, you guys want to get to Derek and Alliance?
Yes. All right. Let's go with our friend Derek. Derek.
What's up, Derek?
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
I've been workshopping a theory on some philosophy.
Uh-oh.
So I want to run it past you.
All
are
right.
you
right,
you
buddy.
a Gallup strength person?
I am. When my ex-wife was pregnant with Caleb, Derek, believe it or not, Gallup offered me a job, and I would have had to move to Denver. But the screening process was so daunting, I almost wet my pants. I am a huge Gallup person.
All right. So you know then that the
Strength
philosophy
finders
is, you should improve your strengths and not work on your weaknesses.
Correct.
So I'm going to try to apply that to what I think is happening with our game plans.
I love you, Derek.
I thought you would like that. But I'm going to throw you a curveball in the middle. All right. So on offense, our strengths are run blocking and intermediate passing before Dylan got hurt. Right. Our weaknesses are pass protection, especially on long developing plays. So, especially if you watch the first drive, then you see that we have these well-designed plays where there's an open guy 5 to 10 yards down the field. We hit him, we get a first down. We have a nice run play, we continue, whatever. One of the things that it seems like the offense thinks is a strength, but I think is a weakness, are these fade balls outside the numbers. When you're doing that, what I think is happening is that a lot of times it's an RPO and the read is one-on-one coverage on the outside, throw the ball up. But I don't think that's enough of a strength to keep doing that since we haven't done that. We haven't completed those.
As
but I
of
think
late,
what happens,
you are correct.
Well, I think what happens is that Dana's a little bit like a golfer who just bought a new driver. Okay, so he gets to a par 4 at 350 yards. He says, "I should hit driver here," and then it goes in the weeds. And then he goes back and hits irons, and then a little bit later he's like, "Oh, I should hit driver here. I bought this driver. I need to hit it," and then it goes in the weeds again. So one of the things that you can see that with on the play where we get sacked and fumble and injured out for the season, he put in this nice package with the double tight end pull and the new guy, I can't remember what his name is, but not Harburg. Yeah, Echternock. So he's leading that play, but when you run that, you just committed 2 out of your 5 people to pull onto a pass play, and we run so much RPO that the corners are never in conflict. They're always playing the pass. So to the corners, it doesn't matter if you're running a true play action or an RPO. They're going to stick to the receivers no matter what. So when Dylan stops the fake and looks up, he sees covered receivers. The difference between that play and on the second drive where they had the nice pass to Lindenmeyer, that the linebackers are in conflict on Lindenmeyer. So they're coming up to stop the run, and then you can just hit it over the pass. But the corners are never in conflict. So incidentally, I think this is also the design on the flea flicker for USC, because I've never seen a flea flicker like that, where it's like a rollout flea flicker. But I think what they're trying to do is put the corner into conflict on a flea flicker instead of the linebackers.
Yeah. So
back.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish your point.
Sorry. So back to the offense-defense thing, I don't think that defense is about strength. I think defense is about what can you make your weakness strong enough so that they have to play into your strength.
I'm actually kind of vibing with that.
So like for some historical examples, I don't think that Troy Edwards was like, "Oh no, I can't believe we're throwing another jailbreak screen here. We should do that again." Or Melvin Gordon wasn't like, "Man, I can't believe we're running another jet sweep. Like that hasn't worked before." Or that already worked. We gotta pivot off of that. So the problem with the thing about the run defense, which I'm coming around more, that I think the defense played very well, actually. And if we win the game, if the score is 35-21, we're going to say, wow, the defense was amazing. But the score is 21-17, so we say the defense wasn't good enough. But if you can't stop the run, it doesn't matter how good your pass defense is. If they never pass, then it doesn't matter. So that's the offense is a strong link part, defense is a weak link. So that's the theory.
So do you think are you saying that's why you think the narratives are the way they are currently when we assess this team?
I think that when you look at the offense that the coaches are working really hard to try to do the things that we can do. Just Rule told us what he's going to do. He said, we have to do the things we can do and not the things we want to do. He said it over and over. So I think that's what that is. But on the defensive side, I think that's why you look at the team and you play really well, but if you can't stop one thing that they're doing, then it makes it hard to feel good about it.
So there, and I'm fascinated, but you do understand how those two things coexist together. So defensively, if SC is running the ball at a clip without getting in the end zone, which they were not, then that allows the offense and everybody else to play a certain way because of the flow of the game, right? You do understand, like, it's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, I agree that it's a complementary football
Okay.
sort of thing, just like what Iowa's doing, like where you're not giving up the big play and you're trying to keep them off the field to limit the possessions on that side. And I like it. I think that.
Because SC they only had 61 snaps.
Yeah, I think overall the game plan worked. The game plan didn't have our quarterback going out in the third quarter. So I think that I agree with you that I think they win if Dylan's still in, but I think that's how that goes.
All right. Where did you say we were eating?
Oh, it's Golden Hour.
Okay, I'm gonna Google.
Yeah.
All right.
Hit Shane up. You can get my number from Shane.
Oh man. All right, D.
Derek and Alliance.
My man. Appreciate it.
Back-to-back good calls.
Hey, that's
all right.
Like 3 in a row or 4 in a row.
Well, back-to-back good calls. There we go.
Do you want to get Coody?
Let's
take a
get
break?
Coody real quick.
Is Austin mad? It's 7:51.
Nobody's texted me yet, so let's take another phone call.
Oh, he's gonna be. Oh, and I had to see him today for NEB.
Yeah, he's gonna rip you.
Great.
Actually, he's gonna yell at me. It's never your fault somehow. Coody,
because I'm nice.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Coody?
Hi, Commander Coody.
Well,
what's up?
Well, I was waiting online. I was scrolling Twitter, and I just seen that West Side scored again.
Yeah,
so,
we're trying.
Congratulations, Damon, on a big win. Congratulations, Ravi, on a big win.
Thank you,
but
sir.
neither of your wins were as big as my win, because what a game Friday night.
The Gretna game, unbelievable.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, I've been saying he flies under the radar. Knutson can flat out spin that thing.
Yeah, and it helps when you have a 6'5" tight end to throw the ball to.
Yeah, that was. There were a lot of crabby folks in the equipment room after that Norris game.
How about the like Stones to go for 2 after that though?
I mean,
huge.
How about that play design?
Like
lining up the tight end as a tackle.
Listen, I love it. Just like, hey, we got the Hail Mary. Let's win this thing.
Hey,
to hell with overtime.
And Commander Coody, we have Jess on at 9. So guess what we get to talk about?
Husker wrestling.
That would be wrestling.
I'm not going to ask her a single football question because she slapped my hand last week.
Yeah. What's on your mind? What's on your mind, Coody? You want to talk about Barney?
Yeah, I want to talk about. Is he healthy?
Yeah, Jacory's good.
Okay, I just feel like the last couple of weeks he's non-existent.
Yeah, so I'll get into that maybe with our 8 o'clock guest about the intermediate use of tight ends in Barney. I thought that was going to be a key to the game, and Nebraska kind of got away from it.
Well, and when's the last time we ran one of those end arounds or quick tosses to him or anything?
Yeah,
just like it's gone, and I feel like his speed could be used really good when guys are just crashing the middle.
Okay, can I ask a question though, Coody? And I'm not trying to trap you. I'm genuinely curious because I feel like this is kind of the same conversation we had earlier in the year.
You can't trap Commander Coody.
I would never. When you're talking about like, hey, we think
back trap.
Yeah, maybe.
What the?
You're talking about like, okay, when you want to do certain things, that means taking away something from someone else. And I sit here and I go, listen, I would love to get Jacory Barney the ball more. Do I want to hand the ball to somebody that's not Emmett Johnson?
Right.
Because you're having the same issue. Like, I want to see Mosey a little bit more. I want to see Mekhi Nelson a little bit more. I don't want to see Emmett Johnson less, though. Right? So, like, both of those things are hard to be true at the same time.
You give the ball to the hot hand.
Right? And so, like, that's kind of my issue with Jacory with some of those end arounds and some stuff like that. I agree they can work, although it maybe wouldn't surprise me if they don't love his, like, he gets tackled by the first guy a lot, right? Like, I can't, like,
yes,
I'm not being critical. Am I like, that's accurate?
So yes and no. Sometimes, so I think he set the standard for what he's capable of. So the 6 times, it's 6.
Okay.
That he goes down.
It's really frustrating.
We're mad because of he set the benchmark for his.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because it has been 6 times, and it's twice on a punt. It's the 2 jail breaks. It happened to him this game where you don't feel like he gets hit hard.
Yeah.
And he goes down. So those are the ones we remember. He's actually a much stronger runner than we give him credit for his size.
Well,
probably fair.
So
Yeah.
much of it's momentum.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so when you're moving that fast and somebody like sneezes on you, like, yeah, it's easier to fall over. Like, I get that. If
like Ja'Cory Barney running after the catch on my list of concerns is way low.
Right, and I'm not even talking
what you're
about
saying.
running after the catch. I mean, like, if you're in a handoff situation, like
kind of. You were talking about his movement and going on in the open field.
But like in a run after catch situation, I'm throwing it to him. I'm not taking that away from Emmett.
When Barney gets tackled in the open field and it's not a hard hit, it's like seeing a tackle get beat. We remember it, so we think it's like that all the time.
Fair.
I don't want to talk you into it.
I mean, you've got the numbers on it. If it's only been 6 times, it's only been 6 times.
I'm weird. I mean, this just.
Hey, so my question for you guys is, now that Lateef's in there, how much more does this open up the playbook using Barney, even as just a disguise? You know, you run him on that end around, but then Lateef keeps it run short option, or he hands it off and carries out a fake off. You know, like, how much more does this open up now?
Coody, that's a fantastic question. With a young quarterback, will you throw the ball over the middle? Because I do think Lindenmeyer needs to get targets. I think the intermediate passing game needs to be a thing because the tight ends are really, really good. Are you comfortable not feeling like you're putting the ball in harm's way with a young guy, throwing the ball over the middle? It will be available. At some point this week, we'll talk middle of the field open versus middle of the field closed defensively, and what I think how teams want to defend Nebraska. But Lindenmeyer needs touches, just not always in the flats, right? Like let that guy go get busy and position himself. He's a big, strong guy, and Barney the same way. Crossing, mesh, over routes. They take a little time, but I think we can figure it out. That's going to be shoot, man, color me curious. I'm excited to see what happens. It's why these guys get paid, right? I mean, game plan.
Yeah, I'm just really excited because I think there's going to be a lot more explosive plays.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
What is there anything you want me to ask Jess about wrestling? I'm not going to tell her, but I'm going to try not to ask about the same sport 2 questions in a row.
Yeah, my thing that I don't think is being hit on enough is Cale Laritson loses his first match and then wins 5 straight on the backside to get a medal.
All right, yeah, you're big Navy guy, huh?
Yeah, let's talk Cale Laritson.
Hey, I like it.
And then we can talk about the Coyle brothers having to wrestle off against each other on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, you don't miss a thing. All right, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Hey, make sure your phone works. I haven't heard from you in like a month.
I'm alive.
I want to make sure you're okay.
I'm good, man. You just check on me and say hello. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
It's my dude.
All right, good luck this weekend, boys.
Thanks, buddy.
That's Coody.
Did I bring my phone in?
You almost certainly did, if I had to guess. I don't know.
All right.
You might have left it in the car. Who knows? We're going to talk to our guy, Brett Ciancia, coming up next at Pick 6 Previews. Haven't gotten a chance to talk about National College Football much this week. We will dive into
like the World Series.
What happened there? No. One of the best baseball games I've ever seen in my life, I think.
Isn't that old news?
Shut up.
Yeah, it's like 3 days ago now. What are we talking about?
Bye, Shane.
We will have Brett Ciancia Pick 6 Previews coming up next. But don't forget, if you're in a car this morning, make sure you have those eyes up and that phone down. Don't get distracted. You've got one job as a driver. That's the drive. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We'll be right back.
But I do want to say that I thought the effort of the guys that won't be here, in the future when all those things come to fruition, I thought the way they rallied around Dylan when he got hurt and then rallied around TJ, the way that they carried themselves, the way that they played, I think it's the first time that they've been held under 21 points this season. USC's offense was the first time that they've been held to 337 yards since 2023. I thought the way they fought and battled and competed for each other when they had some bad breaks, I think those are the things that you can build off of. I thought with Troy Dannon, and Courtney Gaucher and Brendan Meyer and marketing, everyone did with the blackout, will have a profound impact on what we're trying to get done moving forward. I thought our crowd, our student section, I'm standing out there with 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 4-star after 4-star, and saying, look at that student section. Guys said, I've never seen anything like it, And while we're disappointed, we still show up the next day to work and we meet with all the recruits and we talk to them, and they're ecstatic about what they saw here.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, I think to hold any team under 50 is great, but I think we have a higher standard for ourselves, and that's definitely something we're going to see on film, knowing that they were kind of a coming to us team, and so just being able to protect our paint a little better is definitely going to be a priority this week before our next game.
Yeah, I think we had a great mix of that today. Inside out is when you get the best type of shots, and I think we did a great job with our pace today and just being really unselfish and sharing the ball, so that's when we're playing our best. Yeah, it was super fun just to be able to play in front of all the kids and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, they were super loud, definitely gave us a lot of energy, home court advantage, so it was super fun.
Anything else for the Huskers? All right, Coach Williams being in a minute.
Thanks, you.
Guys.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Now, the owner of Pick Six Previews, Brett Ciancia.
And a pass is picked off. Pick six. Pick six to the checkerboard end zone.
Pick Six Previews, the #1 most accurate college football preview.
Go, big man, go. It's a pick six.
Pick Six Previews with Brett Ciancia.
Pick six. Pick six. Give me all of them.
Here is Brett Ciancia.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Brett Ciancia of Pick Six Previews. Brett, how we doing this morning?
Doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Did you recover from, I guess it wasn't too topsy-turvy, but are you paying any attention to the reports of Hugh Freeze in Auburn? Because Man, 10-3 in 2025 in an SEC game is maybe inexcusable.
Yeah. And he's the offensive genius too, and the offense just hasn't shown up for them all year. A lot of problems on third downs, a lot of problems converting yards to points. They drive the ball just fine, but then they freeze up in the red zone. So it's just another week in the SEC, another coach firing. It's just a weekly occurrence down there, and it's opening up to be one of the biggest coaching carousels we've ever seen in the Power Four landscape.
So where does Auburn slot in that hierarchy for you of jobs that are open? I mean, obviously you got Penn State, Florida, LSU, I assume it's above Arkansas. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, where does that start? Have you started kind of filtering that out in your head yet?
Yeah, well, I think that you'd have to put Florida and LSU at the top, and then probably Penn State third. From there, probably Auburn. This is a program that's won a national title recently. They compete for SEC titles. They have a high standard down there. So, and they have the money behind it. They're able to recruit in the top 10, top 15 most years with the right staff. They've been down a little bit recently. I mean, the Brian Harsin hire and era was a mistake. And then I thought that Hugh Freeze would get it turned around a little bit better than he did. And this was a total miss again. So you want to bring someone in with an exciting offense, get these fans engaged. And I think I'd slot it behind Penn State, probably fourth in the rankings right now. I will say, though, those kind of like program rankings, to the right guy, it could be number 1 or it could be number 10, so it's all case by case, and we'll see who they go after here.
Let me start with kind of a little bit of an off the radar, but not on the radar, considering the preseason love is one of the best teams in the country. Where does Texas currently sit for you after what happened with Vandy?
Yeah, I was impressed with the passing offense, because coming into the season, we all thought, yeah, he looks much improved. And in September, the pass offense looked pretty broken. I thought against Oklahoma, he made some nice throws and he improved, and then really turned the corner here the last couple of weeks. And against Vanderbilt, he made every throw. So I thought it was a great job by the offense. Defense let them back into the game there a little bit, got a little scary. They built up a big lead, but in the last 10 minutes, Pavia led a crazy comeback. They almost got that onside kick too to potentially tie the game. But but long story short, a nice win for Texas. If they want to make the playoff, their playoff starts now. I think they got to win out. I think they need to. That includes a win over Georgia and a win over Texas A&M. So they have it right in front of them here, despite the 2 losses, that they have enough resume opportunities here coming in November. So playoff starts now. Love the defense and offense. If that's improving, they can make a run.
So, Brett, as we sit here and we're talking about teams that were highly touted coming into the year, Miami got off to a much better start than Texas did, but stumbling as of late. What do you make of the Hurricanes and maybe more importantly, with the Georgia Tech loss, the ACC picture in general?
Yeah, well, with Miami, I can't believe it's happening again. And this is they come out of the gates so strong in September and October, and then they fade in November. And it's hard to believe. So I think they had the better talent, the better team than SMU, but couldn't get it done. So now they are, they're going to be 10-2 likely, unless they choke again. But I see a 10-2 finish. But to your other question about the ACC race, I think they might be a 2-bid conference now, just because I think Miami could still steal a bid. If they're sitting there 10-2 and Notre Dame's 10-2, I think you got to go Miami. They beat them head to head. That might be a differentiator for them. It might drag them both into the bracket, because I think Notre Dame will also deserve a spot. So interesting deal there on the bubble for the playoff. But within the ACC, this thing's wide open. You got Duke, you got UVA, and Georgia Tech still alive. Louisville, I think, is the best of those 4. So I'm going to go Louisville as the early projection to win the conference.
So I was just going to ask you, is Virginia good?
They're good at surviving games, and I guess all that matters is if you win. And they continue to grind out wins. They've had 3 overtime wins the last 5 games. The other one was a walk-off safety against Washington State. They had that game tied 20-20.
The Denver Broncos of college football.
Yeah, unbelievable. And then again this week, I know the score, it looks like a 10-point win on paper, but that was they were up by 3, and on defense in the final minute, they got a pick 6 to extend the lead to 2 scores in the final minute, or else Cal potentially could have forced overtime again. So UVA, it's a nice offense, and I guess it's a timely defense to keep surviving. So, but I don't know. I think they're going to lose a couple down the stretch, if I had to guess.
What do I mean, I guess this is just ACC. What do I do with Pitt?
They're red hot right now. In fact, I put out not just my overall season grade, but my last 4 games. If you really focus in on the last 4 games, they're top 10 in the country. And this is ever since they switched quarterbacks. They came into the year with Eli Holstein. They switched it up to Mason Heinschel, and he's 5-0 as a starter, as a true freshman. The guy is scrambling all over the place, making every throw. And with them, they're really they're playing sharp football. So 5-0 with him, and top 10 the last 4 weeks. So they're red hot. It's a shame they lost that game way back in September to West Virginia in backyard brawl, or else this might have been a different playoff scenario. But they're sitting there with 2 losses right now.
Hold the phone, because the 15th is huge. Because at 11 a.m., they get that Golden Dome team.
I would say their last three
are
crazy.
Hold the phone on Pitt, because they'll have a chance to make their national statement, and they get the first test on the 15th at home.
Yeah. Absolutely. It looks like a good candidate for college game day too. And yeah, so with Pittsburgh, you get the huge headliner against Notre Dame. If you win that, you knock Notre Dame out of the playoff bracket, but they have a couple other tests too. I think Miami is on that schedule in the finale, and then Georgia Tech. So really, now that I'm looking at this, if Pitt wins out, I know that's a big if, because they're going to be underdogs in all 3. But they control their own destiny, I think, to a playoff, because if they win out 10-2, they would have had head-to-heads over Miami and Notre Dame down the stretch. That's playoff resume to me.
Yeah, listen, I'm just telling you, that linebacking core and defensively quietly, it's a good football team. The offense gets a lot of the headlines, but man, they get stops, and they get guys to the ground in space. That's a good defensive unit.
Yeah, the linebackers, they call themselves the Sharks. They're always taking turnovers back for scores. You're right about the tackling. It's a Pat Narduzzi defense. Yeah, there's a lot to like from this team. I think when they opened up 2-2, they were put on the national back burner, and rightfully so. You start 2-2 and 1-2 in non-conference. That's not a good look, but yeah, they have every opportunity coming forward. This could be one of the best. If you're looking at on the map in the Northeast, this could be the best team in the Northeast out here.
Okay, so I've got a fascination here with some of the Group of 5 schools. Who's leading that pack for you right now in terms of teams that you like the most? Not maybe just to make the college football playoff, but some teams that you're like, okay, I could actually see them possibly winning a college football playoff game.
It's so tough with this tier because nobody wants to hold the spot. It seems like every week they're all losing to each other. If you remember way back, I think in the preseason, it was Boise was the favorite, and then they go out and lose to USF in the opener. So then we slot USF in there, and then just some AAC infighting between them and Tulane and Memphis and North Texas. You could argue a lot of those teams, and I think Tulane plays Memphis coming up. That could be a deciding an impact game there. But how about this, guys? If the AAC continues to beat each other up, can we get a James Madison in there? They'd be sitting there with, if they win out, they'd be 12-1, Sun Belt champs, and their only loss was by 14 to Louisville. I'm not going to call it a quality loss, but this wasn't one of your blowout losses like USF had getting blown off the field by Miami. So I don't know, maybe JMU in the mix there, 12-1. But I don't know. It's really a rotating spot here at the G5 level.
Here's what I really want to know. Is there a path forward for Navy to make the college football playoff?
Yeah, if they beat Notre Dame, I think they become the team. Now they're coming in as 4 touchdown dogs, and if you look at that rivalry, I know it's really lopsided historically. I think it's like 83-10 in Notre Dame's direction, and good on them for continuing the rivalry for almost 100 years. But yeah, I mean, if Navy wants to make the playoff, yeah, you got to go beat Notre Dame, and that's a huge opportunity for them. I don't see it happening, but they have a shot. If you get that W, you're definitely the G5 team.
Brett, if Indiana and Ohio State played tomorrow, who would you make the fave?
I'd have to favor Ohio State. Now, this is nothing against Indiana. I think these are the 2 best teams. If you're looking at my stat profiles, my advanced stats, it's all, I mean, they're top 10 in every category, these 2. So they're the 2 stat giants. I'd have Ohio State. I'd probably give them 4 or 5 points if I had to on a neutral site. They really have distanced themselves from me as the number 1 because, I think we knew we had a defense with them in September and October. They established themselves as an elite unit. And I wanted to see the passing offense grow. In September, it was very conservative. They were getting their new starting quarterback onboarded. And man, has it ever developed. It is unbelievable now. And I see them catching some flack on social media and on Twitter about some of the low raw stats, if you're looking at explosive passing, I don't like to count it. I like to go per play and give me a ratio. And if you look at it per play, they are one of the best in every category. And a lot of that is pace, too. They're the slowest pace in the country. And I saw this was fascinating. They're going so slow on offense that they're actually cutting off like games worth of snaps. So they're going to come into that playoff bracket really fresh. Now, it's kind of a weird concept, but if you save like 10 snaps a game, by the end of the season, you're like 2 games fresher than the other team. So that's what they're going for this year. It's interesting. And I go Ohio State in a neutral site.
Brett, want to go Big 12 on you here. Is there a path forward to 2 Big 12 teams now that BYU and Texas Tech are both in the top 10?
I love Texas Tech just dropping hammer on K-State.
Yeah. Well, I think there's some avenues for this. Yeah. In fact, I'm going out to Lubbock this week. My first time out to West Texas for Texas Tech BYU, and it's funny when we booked it,
right, for there to be 2 teams.
Yeah, I think. Well, there's a couple opportunities. I think BYU, if they get to the title game 12-0, and I think they're guaranteed a spot, win or loss, and then that means that if Texas Tech wins the rematch in the Big 12 title game, you get 2. Now, I'm not ruling out Utah, guys. I think that if they're sitting there 10-2 and they keep blowing everybody off the field, you could maybe argue for them. Because if you're going to sit there and compare some 10-2s at the end of the year, you'll get like a Notre Dame and a Utah. How about this? I think Utah might have a better resume than Notre Dame. And so I don't know. It's possible.
I mean, you don't have to preach to me. I love Utah. So
they're unbelievable.
We're going to be revisiting Notre Dame going to Pitt. Like a lot of people keep assuming 10-2 with Notre Dame. I don't know.
Yeah, so if they were to lose to Pitt, that opens up another spot. And I think Utah or a 2-loss Texas Tech or a 2-loss BYU, I think there's some opportunities here to get them into the mix. So a Notre Dame loss really opens up for the Big 12, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so the 15th, it's hard to fast forward, right? But you get SC and Iowa, which is going to be an elimination game. You got Notre Dame, Pitt. Oklahoma is in Tuscaloosa coming off a bye. Got NC State, Miami. There's one more. TCU goes to BYU. So, hey, there's this. I don't know, man.
There's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on. The 15th for me is a huge weekend to kind of let the dust settle for the landscape of college football.
Well, who was it? Eli Drinkowitz wanted a 30-team bracket. In a way, you're kind of getting that. You know, it's not as pretty as there's no bracketology, but those are going to work itself out. There's these games even this week. Oregon, Iowa. You got that might be an eliminator for Iowa, or might make that Big Ten very confusing with a second loss on Oregon. So there's these games all throughout November. But yeah, that weekend's pretty packed. I can't wait to see it.
Oregon what does your model have? I think Oregon is 5.5 heading to Iowa City for that 2:30 tilt.
Yeah, I've got them 6.5, so I think that number's fair. Now, I've been really impressed with Iowa the last 4 games. I talked about that last 4 game metric, and Iowa's up there in the top 10 as well. After they have, the close loss to Indiana, but then really these last 3, this 37-0 over Wisconsin, 41-3 over Minnesota, and then the win over Penn State. So I'm impressed with Iowa. Oregon might be the biggest mystery out there, just the way their schedule's so backloaded. I know they have the loss to Indiana, which, it was a 10-point game. I'll give them that. But their biggest games are still ahead of them with Iowa, Washington, USC. That might flip some playoff spots there. We're not talking about USC or Washington. They're sitting there with 2 losses. So Oregon is one of the mysteries here going forward. They could either make or break a couple spots.
And the all makes 0 sense line of the week. How is Vandy only laying less than a touchdown to Auburn? Is this the coach bump effect, or like what am I missing as Vandy or as Auburn goes to Nashville?
Yeah, I was shocked too on that. I thought it'd be double digits, and especially because Auburn was, I think, 11.5 over Kentucky last week, and that turned out just to be a total disaster. So I thought that the odds makers
crap written all over it. Is there?
I thought the odds makers would have learned from that mistake, but yeah. We'll see about this. I think it should be Vandy bigger. And my numbers have it around 9.5. So some value there on Vandy's side.
Does that make any sense?
Not even a little bit. Have we forgot about the fact that there's still a pretty clear path for Michigan to make the playoff?
Yeah, Michigan controls their own destiny. And people forget about that because we just assume they'll lose to Ohio State. But you can't assume that anymore. They actually have the win streak in that one. So
yeah.
until beaten. I think that they have a shot. So coming up, they've got Northwestern and Wrigley Field, and they've got a trip to Maryland. I think they win both by double digits. So then you're sitting there 9-2, and you're hosting Ohio State, and that's your play-in game. If you win that, you're 10-2 with the biggest resume win in the country. That's a playoff team. So they control their destiny. I don't think it'll happen, but they're alive.
Gunnar Stockton doesn't turn the ball over. He's 6-1 touchdowns to interceptions. I get it, only the 12 touchdown passes, but he does help you with his legs to help, Bowens and Frazier run the rock. Frazier will get it going. I think he's better than his 4 yards a carry. Is Georgia good?
Well, they're, I just talked about how Virginia continues to survive. Georgia, similarly, I mean, they keep finding ways to win. If they could just bottle up their fourth quarter into all 4 quarters, they'd be incredible. They play so well in
Florida
crunch
is
time.
the best first half losing team in the country.
Is that Georgia?
No, I was just pitting it
Yeah.
against what they did against Florida. Florida is really good in first halves for a losing team. So
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised that Georgia was going to have to come from behind.
Yeah, and they've done it now. They did it coming from behind against Florida. They came back against Ole Miss. They were down by 9. Auburn had them 10-0 and almost 17-0 at the goal line. You remember that Jackson Arnold fumble. So that's 3 comebacks the last 3 weeks. Tennessee was a battle too, way back in September. That was a comeback win. So they're resilient. I think that. I don't think they're the dynasty anymore. They're not the old NFL's 33rd defense like I used to call them, but they are very resilient in the fourth quarter. Now, looking forward, though, they're going to be tested by Texas. Now, in September, I would have penciled in an easy Georgia win in that one, but Texas, as we talked about, is improving. And don't overlook Stark Vegas this week. It's a terrible spot for Georgia, coming off the Florida rival, looking ahead to Texas, a season-defining game. It could be a trap there at Starkville this week.
Which game are you more interested in? Georgia, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Missouri, Oregon, Iowa?
I think Oregon, Iowa. I want to learn what we have with both of these teams. With Oregon, saw them against Penn State, but that turns out to maybe not be the biggest win on the ledger. I want to see if Dante Moore has recovered. I think he was knocked out against Wisconsin. We'll check his injury report, see how they look, because this is when you're going to really define this team is November. So this game against Iowa, that'll be a glimpse into how they'll look against USC and Washington down the stretch. And based on their performance in this one, it could flip a couple spots within the playoff picture. So I'm really interested in that one. A&M, Missouri as well. I think A&M is going to continue to roll. I'd like them to win it here. Thought the line should be a little bit bigger than it is, so I'll go with A&M. But yeah, 2 major games. I got my big one I'll be at in Lubbock, so I can't wait to see that one too. And College game day in town. We really lucked out on that one. I hit the lottery. We booked that back in August, and both these teams have really impressed, especially BYU out of nowhere.
Yeah, That line in Columbia stinks, Brett, especially with Prabula and the injury, and that's less than a touchdown. Missouri quietly plays in a way that I think can deal A&M fits because of how physical they are. They may limit A&M's possessions. I'm fascinated by that game in Columbia.
Yeah, and Missouri's defense, I know they lost their quarterback, but Missouri's defense really has performed well. Top 20, top 10 in all my numbers. And when you can look at stats, but when you just watch them play, they have 5-star athletes. They got dudes in the trenches. So they're gonna challenge one of the best offensive lines with A&M. It's gonna be strength on strength. But yeah, I mean, the quarterback issue is going to hold me back in this one, because if it does come down to the quarterback play, I know at least what I have with Marcel Reed. There's no mystery there. He's been phenomenal. So I'll side with him. Want to see more from Zollers, Missouri's backup. We'll see. But I have to trust Texas A&M here.
Is there any like below the radar reason that, like, should I even be paying attention to Indiana, Penn State, or am I just distracted by the brand name there?
I don't know I don't know what to think of Penn State, because in their losses up until this week, their losses were competitive. They were in close games. They were even battling through the quarterback injury up until
it was 17-14 at one point, right, against Ohio State.
Yeah. Yep. They get that fumble right before the break, 17-14, and you're thinking, all right, maybe they'll find some adjustments at halftime. Jim Knowles is supposed to know this Ohio State team, the former coordinator, but second half, all Buckeyes, 28-0. Really took it to them. So anyways, what I'm getting at is Penn State was competitive up until the second half of Ohio State. I wonder if they're starting to lose it. And, I think they're starting to lose all their team goals now. Bowl season's almost off the plate. I'm going to go Indiana to go in there and roll. I mean, when you watch Indiana play, they're so well coached. It's like Indiana's got 13 guys on the field every snap. It's just that they're always in the right spot. They're always making the play. They don't hurt themselves. So I think Penn State's going to come in here wounded from that loss.
Brett, is there a path? I'm just looking for group of however many are left. Is there a path for Memphis for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're sitting there with just the one loss. It's an ugly one, the loss to UAB, but they
Coach
control
effect,
their destiny.
right? They just fired.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, whenever we pick a G5 team, they lose that week. So now that I'm backing Memphis, they're going to lose to Tulane this week. And nobody wants to hold the spot. It's unbelievable. So, but yeah, for now, we'll go Memphis. And I'm sure when we talk next week, we'll have North Texas there on the graphic or somebody new. But yeah, I think the Memphis, they beat Tulane, they're in the driver's seat.
Okay, Brett, last one for me. This line doesn't make a ton of sense. I know they're at home. 10.5 feels a little fat for Texas Tech and BYU. I know we talked about them a little bit earlier. What's your model have that game at?
I have it at 12.5 Texas Tech.
Well,
I really like Texas Tech. We've been talking about them all season here, and they're just a machine. Their only loss they had was against Arizona State, and it was unfortunate they were without Baron Morton, their starting quarterback. They had Will Hammond in there. Morton's back. Love their run game. Love their defense. I think that we always think of Texas Tech and think offense, but their defense is one of the best in the country. Number 2 in getting the quarterback. Number 1 against the run. Top 5 against the pass. Top 5 scoring. So really a complete profile from Texas Tech. BYU, they continue to win close. Now that's gritty. I like what they do. It's a physical program, physical team. They are coming off the bye. But I think this is going to be Texas Tech's biggest home game since that 2008 Michael Crabtree moment. Ooh. And this place is going to be on fire. I can't wait to get down there and see it. I'll also be getting over to Permian High School from Friday Night Lights. So little double whammy out there in West Texas.
Yeah, they have a nice – I think they kind of fly under the radar because they haven't been a national power. I think you'll like the way Tech does their entrances, and they have a little tradition for how they take the field. I think you'll like the environment. You know, Brett, I always do this to you. I got a couple of games that catch my eye that I think where the line doesn't make sense. I gave you one with Missouri and A&M. I'm going to give you the other one. And they're on the road, but it's not near enough. If they won the game outright, I would not be shocked. Keep an eye on LSU catching 9.5 or 10 in Tuscaloosa. LSU will give Bama all they want. You watch.
There we go. And you might get the coach firing effect. We've seen teams come off of this. When you fire the coach, go into a bye week, you don't know what's going to come out the other side. And a lot of times it's improved football. It's spirited football. So, okay, I'll keep an eye on that one, Damon. I'm interested now. I'm intrigued. It's always a battle, those two. I can't wait to see it.
That is our guy, Brett Ciancia, Pick 6 Previews. Brett, we appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
I always like to find a game or two where not only would I sprinkle your $7 on the money line, I'd take them ATS. I do the big ones every week.
Yeah.
A couple big ones. I'm telling you, LSU will give Bama. You're going to be like, what is going on?
So I got to ask a question here.
Okay.
And this might be a fan question, so I'm prefacing that.
It's fine.
It seems like, because I don't know what their locker room was like, LSU, right? I could find it very believable that maybe Brian Kelly wasn't the most beloved figure in the locker room.
Boy, those reports.
Yeah, like they're pretty bad everywhere he's been.
Wow.
Everywhere he's been. Like just Google like Brian Kelly stories and you will get like everywhere he's been, people seem to kind of hate the man. So I'm wondering, like, is there I'm not going to ask.
I mean, it's a debacle down there, but I'm telling you.
Is there a chance they all disliked Kelly so much they get a little bump?
They're talented enough. And Bama's weird.
Bama is weird. Bama's weird.
So, I don't know.
Because I know we do that as like fans. If we don't like a coach, we're like, oh, how could these players possibly like him? We don't really have a great example of that locally, except when people kind of turned on Bo. But, every guy in that locker room loved Bo for the most part, at least for as far as I've heard. So, like, I know I don't have like a great example. Maybe Callahan. I don't know how people felt about Callahan within the walls by the time it was over. But like, I just have a really hard time imagining 18 to 22-year-olds just being like, we're riding with Brian Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, I have a really hard time picturing that.
So it's just not enough. It's just not enough points.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm shocked. The A&M Missouri line really reeks.
Yeah, so that one, what's
6
that one
and
at?
a half.
Yeah, so that's why I brought up Oregon, Iowa, Texas A&M, Missouri, and then the Georgia, Mississippi State, because those are all 5.5 to 7.5 numbers that, like, for who you're playing, you would think Georgia's.
You don't even have your starting quarterback in Columbia.
Yeah. Bo Prabula, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's
like,
out. He's out of here.
Like, what are we doing?
Apparently we're doing 6.5. Apparently we're doing 6.5. What's that LSU Alabama note? 9.5?
Yeah.
That seems light at home.
Give me the Tigers.
That seems light.
All day, every day.
I'm going to be honest. 26.5 against Navy feels a little heavy for Notre Dame. It seems a little heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how Navy plays. They're going to try and limit possessions on it. Like, it's going to be hard to beat them by 4 touchdowns.
So, you know what's funny?
Am I crazy? Like,
yes. I think you're crazy.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Do
For
you mean
that
about
or
this?
for other reasons?
No, just other reasons.
Oh, okay.
Do you know me?
It's hard to beat Navy by 4 touchdowns.
Why am I so aware of what's happening on November 15th?
Because it's Nebraska's bye, so you actually get to watch football for once.
I've got the food planned.
It's like your Super Bowl Sunday. You're just like, I got the menu. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm throwing my phone outside.
I looked at the forecast, and it's not enough days out for me to really give it a thing.
Like, do I get to watch football outside today?
But I have options.
You're like, I gotta get the deck going. gotta get my cooler on the deck that's constantly filled with ice and beverages.
I have a sickness. It's called downtime.
No, it's good. It's good. You actually get to enjoy some football.
It's flickering.
Just got to stay on.
just got to dial it in for 11 more days.
Man.
You gonna make it?
I can't wait.
You gonna be all right?
Can't wait.
Let's take a little break here. We will come back, talk a little more. We got a lot of comments in the chat we can catch up on as well. Coming up at 9, we're gonna talk to Jess, our friend Jessica Coody.
I don't know if she's my friend.
Well, I'm not gonna ask her any football questions. She slapped my wrist about football last week.
She was mad at me in game.
Well, yeah, it's true. We might have to. That might be the only football question I ask is if you and her are still fighting, or if Dad Kyle was able to separate the parties and
Dad Kyle
and everything.
That's
there.
what we're on.
Well, I mean, hey, everybody up here and everybody down there needs to settle down. That was his like, don't make me turn this car around. That's what happened. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought we started things off great. We the third quarter is a little problematic for us. I thought that credit to Northwestern State for maybe slowing the tempo a little bit, finding ways to get the ball to their best player, and she made us pay there in the third quarter. But I thought Haley Weaver once again really set the tone for us defensively to start the ball game in those first 2 quarters. We had pretty good team defense. Well, I thought that we were playing with pretty good pace, and it's something the girls kind of noticed that when we're staying in attack mode and really playing with pace, that we become a lot harder to guard, and we have great balance. I thought things started off there with Britt Prince, and I thought she was a little more aggressive-minded to start the ball game today, and that helps. We're our best when she's thinking score.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job of bringing the physicality to the game, and we didn't. And they got 4 offensive rebounds before the first media timeout. We turned the ball over. They did a good job controlling tempo in that first half. I thought we played right into their hands by taking quick shots. And then finally we got into a little bit of a rhythm late in the half and, went on a nice little run to build a 6-point lead. And then at halftime we talked about our pace and we picked up, we pressured more, and that's what got us going. I thought we did a really good job of rebounding the ball in the second half and finding the open man. Sam, I think, had 4 or 5 defensive rebounds in a row and sprayed out, got Jamarcus 2 threes, I think, and Connor 1 in that stretch where we broke it open. So, our running habits were much better, I thought, in the second half. And when we do that, I'll look forward to seeing the analytic report that we'll get tonight on our efficiency when we got out in transition in the first 6-7 seconds of the shot clock, because that certainly appeared to be when we were at our best tonight.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
You'd have to ask the players. I don't know if they watch anime or watch football now. It depends on who it is. I was a GA at UCLA. It was one of the best times. Julie and I had no kids. We were so poor. We didn't have enough money to get this is true now, get the pilot light turned on in our house. We had no heat, no electricity, but you didn't really need it. We had a 1-bedroom apartment. I got a little motor scooter because you could park for free on campus. She was the breadwinner. She she had a great job for us, and it was just her and I, and so I finished my master's degree at UCLA. I met some amazing people. I loved it there. I got to meet John Wooden, and just got to sit there and talk with him. Just one of the most, I was raised on Joe Paterno time, and so the thing started at like 8 a.m. and so I was there at 7:30. Not a lot of other people were there at 7:30. So he spent like 20 minutes talking to me where I was from, and at the end of it, there's 200 people in the room. And as I was walking out, he said, "Give my best to Julie, Matt." Like, just the most amazing man. So yeah, for me, going back to UCLA and going back to the Rose Bowl as a player at Penn State, we went to the Rose Bowl. I didn't play in the game, but I was there, and then I had a chance to coach there under Coach Snow. It'll be awesome. I worked with Kelly Skipper, Tim Skipper's brother. He was our running back coach, and so I think Tim's doing a great job, and Jerry Neuheisel, the OC, is doing a great job. So they've got things rolling. So it'll be an unbelievable battle, an unbelievable challenge.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you, make sure you go see our friends out at Next Gen Mayo Medical. They will get you taken care of just like they did me and DB. I'm actually heading out there after the show today to pick up my latest round of prescriptions.
Ask Nick if he feels like he's babysitting me.
Oh, I 100% know he does. It's going to be like me and Nick handshake meme, like babysitting DB. Like, that's what
my man literally said. I know what 25 cc's is, right?
Sure, yeah.
So once he told me the amount, because I lost the sheet.
Oh, okay. Well, sure.
And they drew pictures. Anyway, it's neither here nor there.
So what we're saying is, even if you're DB, they will take care of you.
So I go, hey, lost the directions. Like, what's up? And he goes, hey, it's 25 cc's. So I took a picture of the needle.
Mm-hmm.
He said, draw it halfway between 20 and 30. I was like, oh my God, he thinks I'm an idiot. Dead serious.
I love it. They will.
And what could I say? Like, no bleep? Like, he's clearly knowing I'm asking him for help.
Yeah.
I had to eat it.
Well, I appreciate that. Even if you need a little extra help like DB, they have you covered. 402-614-9700. Whatever you need to feel your best, they will get you on your way. It's Next Gen Mail Medical.
His receptionist. I came in the other day and she's like laughing at me. I was like, am I funny? And she goes, oh yeah, you're funny. It was one of those like,
Yep.
You're a ding dong.
So Coach Rule was talking about, Joe Pa and Penn State there for a second with, growing up on Joe Pa time. And it kind of reminded me I've been thinking a lot about toxic fan bases. And so I was coming up with my list yesterday because, Hugh Freeze gets fired. I'm like, man, Auburn, that's a toxic job. And we were talking about.
Did you like that TikTok?
Man, okay. So the funniest part is that Hugh Freeze wouldn't know what NIL is because he's literally been paying guys since before you were allowed to.
Let me reset it. So there's like all these there's always these crazy reports that come out and
after
people
a guy
are doing
gets fired,
their deep dives. And apparently Hugh Freeze was learning on the fly what players cost, how to use NIL, and he apparently liked to golf quite a bit.
Or just watch people golf.
Yeah, the whole going to the golf course on Fridays without clubs.
To not golf? Weird.
Just to watch people golf.
That's psycho behavior.
And who's not going to recognize you?
Yeah, like what's he got like a little mustache on? Is he doing the whole Bobby Valentine thing, like trying to hide in the dugout? Like what's
Coach
happening
Rule can't even do a podcast pre-recorded. And he thought he could go to the golf course on Sundays? Like, what are we doing?
But yeah, so I'm thinking like Auburn, obviously super toxic fan base. But
By the way, I do apologize for sending that at 2:50 in the morning.
Yeah, I was like, bro, go to bed. What are we doing?
Are you gonna call me bro?
Yeah,
too?
I'm just trying to get in the rhythm before Jess shows up. I just trying to get you primed and ready to go.
It's not cool.
I saw it at like 5 when I woke up. I go, what's happening here? Because I always look at the time when you send me text messages because I'm like, okay, what kind of day is this going to be?
It's not always indicative. Sometimes.
I usually have. It also depends on what kind of thing you're sending me at that point in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I have a pretty good idea how the day is going to go.
What was the other one?
The first one was Hugh Freeze. The other one, what was the other one? Let's see here.
I don't know. I thought it was.
How it was Shamar Stewart in the Bengals defense.
Yeah, he was getting cooked.
He wasn't even getting cooked. He's just diving.
So
he's just swan diving into the.
So they're horrible.
Trey Hendrickson's getting traded, right? Like that's today. Isn't today the deadline?
Did you watch those clips?
I did. Yeah, he wasn't even.
Like, what are they doing? You're not even trying.
Well, that's the thing is I think people wondered how you can be that physically gifted and not record like any sacks at A&M. We saw it. We saw how he's not trying.
So are you mad at the family for trying to redo his contract, or did they know something that we didn't know?
No, I don't.
Here's the end doesn't justify the means, right?
So it's still,
but man, that was some dog doo-doo.
Like if you thought this was a problem,
I got to send that clip out.
Don't draft him.
He was getting caked.
You know what I mean? Like just don't draft him. If you think this is a problem where you think you have to do a contract in a way that you've literally never done a contract before, then maybe just don't draft that guy.
He was falling down.
I don't even think he was falling. He was just like.
I was like, okay.
He looked like he was swan diving.
And I remember talking about him in the contract situation. So I think I just wanted you to see like
no,
what
100%. Listen, I've never been defending Shamar Stewart as a football player. I still think the Bengals can be a clown franchise for drafting him and then trying to sign him to a contract that they've never asked anybody else to sign before. Like that's a whole thing. You know what I mean?
Man.
But
who moves today? Dolphins don't want to let go of Waddle.
Yeah, they're going to move some guys though. The Bengals.
Jalen Phillips got moved yesterday.
The Bengals already traded Wilson, their linebacker, to the Cowboys. Which here's the other thing that I don't understand about NFL trades at all. It's always like, hey, here's this really good player. You get a 7th rounder. Like I would never make a trade in the NFL. The values seem so weird to me. Somebody was like, Trey Hendrickson might fetch a 2nd rounder. I was like, how? How is he only a 2nd rounder?
It's weird.
And then Tyreek Hill gets like 18 first. And you're like, okay, cool, I guess. Like, I don't understand trade values in the NFL at all. I mean,
is it like when you buy something new and then you take it out of the store and it appreciates down to like 10%?
Yeah, I thought of you today, though. And I don't know if they're listening or not, but there was
it's like trying to sell jewelry at a pawn shop.
It was either a lawn service or they obviously did manual labor because they had a trailer attached, and I can't remember what the equipment was on the back. But it was a big black truck, and the dude had the coolest Joker action figure, like mounted on the back of where you'd like put the tools in the compartment in the truck.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm driving next to him right along here on the 126.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who's the little? How do you have such a little itty bitty person sitting up there? And as I got closer, it's bigger than like a little action figure, but it was the Joker. It was so sweet. I was like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I might have to just keep driving on past that truck.
Keep on pushing.
Yeah, I mean the tent was dark, the truck was big, he had the hitch. I was like, that guy might be certifiable in there, but the Joker action figure was off the chain.
All right, so let me.
Was it purple or was it green?
It was kind of gray with the face paint, and I'm driving, and of course my stupid car says "Eyes Alert" thing. Like,
quit looking.
Eyes off the Joker.
Quit looking at the Joker while you're trying to drive, DB.
It wasn't that specific, but it did beep.
I'm surprised it wasn't.
Yeah. Eyes alert, eyes alert. I was like, so I looked at it. There's a logo that lights up that has the picture of an eye. So clearly it's looking at me.
I'm surprised. Like, if it had said, hey, DB, quit looking at the Joker, eyes on the road, like you're turning that thing back in, right?
So I'm learning
You're out.
more. So I'm messing with the car, right?
Yeah.
So Mike is in the passenger seat. We're leaving Westside yesterday, and I wanted to call Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, for whatever reason, he's not on the favorite. So I was trying to dial it, and it told me to keep my eyes on the road. So I was like, okay, I got you. I said, hey, Micah. So I was walking him through the touch screen.
Yeah.
But I only kept one hand on the steering wheel.
It like, told both hands on the wheel.
It told me to keep both eyes on the road. So I said, Micah, keep scrolling. So I put both my hands on the steering wheel, and I looked straight. And Micah got to scroll the whole way through because it would pause and say I was doing it too long.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't let him scroll anymore.
But once you were focused on the road,
but once I put both hands on the steering wheel and I was looking forward, and it scrolled its brains out. So I was like, I'm not messing with this car anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it was just weird.
So mine will do that if I'm if I'm not stopped, it won't let me type anything in.
No, I get that.
Yeah, I do too.
But it knows if like you can still do the features as long as my hands and my eyes are on the road. So anybody else can do it. It's fair game.
That's weird.
That's kind of weird.
That's super weird.
Yeah, this dude was like.
That's why they got the good safety ratings. They know.
And he scrolled long enough to know. I said, how do you not know your brother's number?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Even I know my brother's number. Got it memorized. No,
I've not toxic like these fan bases.
No,
is Tallahassee toxic?
So I was trying to, because I made my list.
Okay.
And then I Googled to see like what other people were saying. And then I asked a few people because I was curious. Florida State did make a lot of lists as far as toxic fan bases. And I don't get that sense, but maybe I'm too close to it. I don't know. Like, I don't really know the thing they're pointing to make them be a toxic fan base. Like, I get they didn't love, so a lot of people didn't love the way that like Bobby Bowden's tenure ended, but like it was definitely time. Jimbo kind of begged to get out of town. So what? You're mad about how it went down?
And he did give you guys the middle finger on the way out.
Absolutely, he gives everybody the middle finger on the way out. That's what Jimbo Fisher does. That's why he's not employed right now.
So
like literally the whole reason.
Is Tennessee toxic?
Absolutely.
They're on your list.
Tennessee is on my list because and one reason and one reason only. They literally had a head coach hired and they rioted until they're like, nope, not that guy. That was Greg Schiano. Like they were going to hire Greg Schiano. So like they're on the list forever.
So you've got Auburn.
Auburn's definitely on the list.
A&M.
Without a doubt.
Texas.
Texas is on the list.
LSU.
LSU is on the list. See, I was borderline on LSU. Because I don't generally think that's a toxic fan base. I think it's sort of like when the governor's telling you who will and won't make the hiring of the next football coach, that feels really messy.
Why did that does taste like dirty water? Why did Ohio State make the list? Because of how they treated Ryan Day?
Yes.
And
because if he doesn't win a national championship last year, he probably gets fired.
Who was the I-71 guy, the 1-7-1?
I'm not sure.
Cooper. Was it John Cooper?
Oh, yeah.
Was it John Cooper?
Yeah. Before Tressel? Yeah, John Cooper.
Okay.
Because he couldn't beat Michigan. Couldn't beat Lloyd Carr. Ohio State, I think, is definitely toxic. It's not as bad as some of these.
Man, are they?
Dude, they were going to fire Ryan Day last year. That's enough.
The guy that had like 5 losses.
Yes. Before from Michigan. So they're like, GTFO, bud.
I I think that's what they're saying.
I mean, I really do. I legitimately think if they don't make the national title game last year, Ryan Day gets fired. And that's bonkers. Now, Penn State also made the list for a couple things. Number one, the James Franklin thing does not make any sense.
So this is fascinating.
But there's another part to this that I didn't realize. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So apparently, and I got this from talking to some people that I was putting feelers out for. Apparently, and I don't want to make Coach Rule mad, but apparently there is like a whole section of that fan base that totally absolves Joe Pa for everything that happened there. And I mean everything. That they have this total alternative history to what happened with the Sandusky stuff and whatever. And if that's not the most toxic thing I've ever heard in my life, like, I don't know, man. That's pretty messed up. So, like, yes, they make the list, not just because the James Franklin thing is frankly bonkers to me, but also when you've got like an entire fan base of deniers about this horrible scandal that happened on campus, like probably not the most in-touch people in the world.
What about Miami?
Miami's weird, man. I don't know if they care enough to be toxic.
Okay. I'll entertain
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah, because I'm just so of your list.
I'll say, is there anybody on this list that so here's the full list I put: Auburn, A&M, Texas, Ohio State, Tennessee, LSU, Penn State. Anybody that you hard disagree with? It seemed like Ohio State you were a little iffy on.
I get why you said it.
I think out of this list, they're the least toxic of this list. But I still think they count because they were going to fire Ryan Day. And that's like he had like 4 losses.
Let me just ask you something if I settle on this list.
Okay. Well, am I missing anybody obvious?
I wondered about Miami.
Fair. You mentioned Florida State. What about Florida?
So that's the other one.
Yeah. I couldn't decide on Florida. I really couldn't.
Okay.
Like I had a hard time.
So of this list, when you say toxic, are you just saying the expectations and what actually happens are the furthest apart?
I think so. So like it's sort of what I talked about with a good job versus a bad job, right? The expectations of the program or of the fan base versus the of those expectations being met are really far apart. Like Texas is on here.
Is Nebraska fitting in that criteria for you?
I don't think the expectations of Nebraska are crazy right now. I really don't. Okay. I think on an individual game-to-game basis, this fan base can be toxic because of how emotional we get. I don't think
so it's more game. Okay.
In general, I don't think this is a very toxic fan base because I think there's a realization of where they're at. Because like if by the end of the year, let's say Nebraska goes 8-4 this year. They go 2-1 with TJ Lateef on the way out. I don't know what that looks like. Just an example. By January 1, Nebraska fans will have talked themselves into like, hey, this is good progress.
Yeah, well,
that's
you know,
2 more wins.
Can I just say something real quick to that? Do you know what my projection was? I said 8 wins with the bowl game
being the ninth.
Mm-hmm. Would blow the doors off the transfer portal and recruiting.
Absolutely.
I still believe that.
I mean, speaking of which, Nebraska now is the 3rd-ranked 2027 class with a commit from Tay Ellis yesterday.
And they're going to get another one. They're going to get.
Yeah, it seems like Amir Brown's committing like any minute now.
It's just.
So it seems like Ahmad Hudson's on the way, or could be.
Now they pull that off.
Unbelievable. Honestly, Brian Kelly getting fired, I think, helps there a lot because there's uncertainty in the position of Brian Kelly. But you know what I mean? Because that was the one that everybody's like, oh, he's got to go to LSU, right?
I mean, you pull the Hudson deal off.
It seems like, listen.
I mean, Sat and Hoiberg, like, you talk about a family affair.
Yeah.
Like Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I got to ask you something because this is the first thing that I thought of.
When you saw the list?
And maybe the easy answer is Texas because of the success with Sark.
Mm-hmm.
But who most easily overcomes the expectation levels being off?
Ohio State.
I don't know, man.
Well, because the expectation
took a national championship.
Right, it did. But like they're also capable of that every year.
So Texas hasn't overcome it, or you think Sark will? I brought up Sark stumbling down the stretch. You guys laughed at me because he would get a job tomorrow, which I understand.
I think Franklin gets a job tomorrow too. Like I think Franklin absolutely gets hired at a power conference school this offseason. You know, listen,
A&M is currently overcoming it, although the schedule
helped out. And they haven't, like, Ohio State has a history of, like, we can be this team. Even when they're not winning national championship, they're still making college football playoffs. They were constantly in the realm of where they wanted to be. Texas has had some pretty large departures. Like, pre-Sark, and let's be honest, even pre-last year with Sark, Texas has had some pretty large departures.
Yeah, I oddly found myself defending Sark to you last year.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Because he was the guy I was like, listen, I get that Texas might be this, but I'm not going to trust it on Sark until I see it. Yeah. It's kind of a Cristobal thing. Like, not as bad.
Wow.
Not as bad as Cristobal, right? But it's like, hey, until Cristobal does the thing, I can't feel good about this.
Can I ask you about a quiet one?
Yeah.
What do you think about Madison?
Oh, Wisconsin. That's an interesting one. I hadn't
who were they supposed? They have a lot of.
Who are they supposed to be?
They have a lot of Nebraska-ish to them,
without any of the history. Really, I mean, that's the difference between Nebraska and Wisconsin. Really, is the history. Wisconsin has no. This is who we can be, or this is who we should be to fall back on.
They will be livid without making a move around Fickle. Like, the AD doubled down the support, and they almost lost their minds.
They don't have any money.
No. Damn the practicality of what you're saying. I'm talking about the expectation.
I get it, but that's again, that would go to your toxicity part, though, is they don't have the resources to be who they think they should be, to even fire a coach that, I mean, I think it got away from Fickle early, and he just wasn't going to get it back.
I wonder what they think they should be.
So that's a really interesting question, because I don't think I know.
I should ask my man Kyle.
Yeah, I have no.
Roll on. Different Kyle R.
Not Casey.
No.
Okay.
Casey would be like,
no,
why are you asking me this? DJ?
I was doing something stupid in my head.
Shock.
Yeah. No, yeah, I usually do it out loud, so it's kind of surprising.
Another 3-second spin. Very, very quick. Nothing will beat the off-air one. But again, maybe that's why I rock with you. Do it light on your feet. Like a moving target.
That's a really good question. I have no idea who Wisconsin thinks they should be. But it seems like more than what they've been. I thought firing Paul Chryst was a little nuts, honestly. He was pretty good for a long time.
Yeah, he was.
Like, that one is probably, at that moment, is probably where they felt their most toxic.
KB was like, definitely not me. F whiskey. Kyle's nuts.
All right, Kyle, for that comment alone. Coming up next, we got Jessica Coody from Husker Radio Network. We'll see if the siblings are still fighting on the broadcast here. See if we need to call Dad Casey to get in here to break it up. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
But I do want to say that I thought the effort of the guys that won't be here, in the future when all those things come to fruition, I thought the way they rallied around Dylan when he got hurt and then rallied around TJ, the way that they carried themselves, the way that they played, I think it's the first time that they've been held under 21 points this season. USC's offense was the first time that they've been held to 337 yards since 2023. I thought the way they fought and battled and competed for each other when they had some bad breaks, I think those are the things that you can build off of. I thought what Troy Dannon and Courtney Gaucher and Brendan Meyer and marketing everyone did with the blackout will have a profound impact on what we're trying to get done moving forward. I thought our crowd, our student section, I'm standing out there with 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 4-star after 4-star, and saying, look at that student section. Guys said, I've never seen anything like it. And while we're disappointed, we still show up the next day to work and we meet with all the recruits and we talk to them, and they're ecstatic about what they saw here.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Lateef out of the gun, handoff Mekhi Nelson. Whistle stop play prior to the snap. Timeout Nebraska.
Timeout Nebraska, first charge.
Everybody needs to settle in here.
I'll say.
Everybody up here, everybody down there, let's all settle in. Come on now. Timeout.
Oh, goodness.
What is going on?
It's anarchy.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Jessica Coody of Husker Radio Network. Jess, how are we doing this morning?
Good morning. How we doing?
We're doing all right. I'm trying to see if you and DB are still fighting or if you guys are cool. I called him bro earlier, and it seemed like it triggered something. So
yeah,
I'm just trying to see what's going on.
Yeah, no, we're good. I mean, look, that's part of, we're family. It was an intense moment. I think we felt it in the moment. Just, I had seen Dylan obviously get where he would go into the 10, he'd come out, he'd fight through whatever injury or kind of pain he was going through. And then, for 2 years now. And see, but you could tell it was a little bit more serious and then just trying to follow. And then I think DB was also a little emotional at that time. It just you just felt it in that moment. But hey, we're family. I think that shows the signs of a real relationship. I mean, I watch it every day on the sideline. Guys get after each other, but yeah, they're fine when they walk off the field. I think obviously in the moment we were just kind of going back and forth. I'll tell you what happened. So I'm trying to watch, and there's two things going at once. I'm trying to watch TJ and Dylan, and they're both in two different spaces on the sideline. And so I'm trying to kind of see what's going on. And then he's like, oh my gosh, just wait. And I can't see him. So I have no idea.
That's not my voice.
Yes, it was. And so then I'm like, okay, I'll wait. But yet I'm still trying to watch what's going on. And then he asked me 85 times where I'm at. And I'm like, I'm pacing back and forth on the sideline, bro, where I always am. So that's kind of where it went. But it just was the heat of a moment. I think
it's so not true.
That's exactly how it happened. It's exactly how it happened.
I said, Jess, is he in or is he out? Just wait until you know. That's what I said. And I go, so, okay. Wow. Just beep, beep, beep. Just ran over 85 times. So I was like, hey, Jess, where are you? Crickets. I was like,
because I'm trying to do my job. You told me to wait. You told me to wait. So I'm waiting to tell you what is going on with the starting quarterback in a huge moment because you asked me to wait. And then all of a sudden you can ask me all the questions about where I'm standing. No, you can't. If you want me to wait, then you better wait.
See, that you guys think she's so cool and so nice. That's not how she works. She's very demanding. So when I was like, I said to Casey, I said, oh my God, I think she's mad. So Kyle is probably mortified. He's like, these kids are mad at each other, but they feed off of each other. So I want to have a good broadcast. They have to coexist. So then he just Shane, do you still have that? Jess, do you remember Kyle saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because I know you were so in the moment. Go ahead, Shane.
Safe out of the gun. Handoff Makai Nelson. Whistle stop play prior to the snap. Timeout, Nebraska.
Timeout, Nebraska. First charge.
Everybody needs to settle in here.
I'll say.
Everybody up here. Everybody down there. Let's all settle in. Come on now.
Robbie called him Dad. What'd you call him? Daddy Kyle?
I said Dad Kyle. Let's be clear there. No, yeah, it sounded like the what was the last part he said? There he goes. Hey, let's settle in. Come on.
Everybody up here, everybody down there, settle in.
Now.
It was a specific message to the fighting children.
It very much felt like do not make me turn this car around.
Totally did.
I was so I remember kind of how I felt. I was so mad about the tackle. I almost couldn't get my focus back to stay in the moment because I hated the tackle right when he did it because he kind of jumped down on his back. And then to boot, it was Dylan. So I was like, oh, fudge, this is going to really piss me off. That's what I was thinking in the moment.
Yeah. I think you just feel the intensity, and it was you don't want to see Dylan go down like that. And you could just tell, I could see it in his face, how much pain he was in. And so then, but he wants to be out there so badly. And so you're seeing you're just it's just kind of crazy watching it all evolve in the moment. And then I think you're thinking about, obviously, is Dylan going to be okay? But then I think I also recognized too in the moment, like what this could mean for the rest of the game. It was just such a big moment.
Did you get the severity?
What?
Did you get so people didn't really take Coach Rule at his word in the presser when he said he kind of wanted to keep Dylan from himself. But you can hear them kind of going back and forth, like, can he protect himself? He can't protect himself. Like, there were so many things going on there.
I think he was being told it's probably not smart for you to go, but he wanted to show that he could. And so he would go into the tent, he'd come out, and then he'd do all the different things. He'd drop back and show that he, and just trying to fight through it. And it was during the third quarter light show that going into the fourth quarter, Coach Rule came over, put his arm around him. And, I could tell Dylan had gone like this. And then he went over and talked to TJ. He actually tried to give him, he had like a hand warmer deal that was, I think, electric that he tried to give to TJ, just in that moment. And then he went up and down the offense and was trying to give encouragement. And then, he still was trying. I could see he was trying to see if he could do it. He was jumping. He was even till the end of the game. Like, I think he still was trying to prove to himself that he could get back out there.
On a broken leg.
Yeah. Yeah. He wanted so badly. He was fighting. He was fighting so hard. And so that also in itself was heartbreaking because you could just see how bad he wanted to be out there and, try to help the team. And I just think, Coach Rule talked about it yesterday. I think you could see it. I think everyone could see it. Like the offense was doing some really good things. And I think they were going to get rolling and nothing against TJ. And, oh man, you would talk about bless his heart. I felt so bad for him after the game when I talked to him. He was beating himself up about it. And
TJ?
TJ. He was so upset and it felt like he should have done better. He should have been better. And, and I actually asked Rocco and Dane Key about, TJ's really being hard on himself. And Dane was like, we got to be better for TJ. Like, he shouldn't be taking all that on himself. Like, we have to be better. We should have stepped up better in the moment for TJ. Rocco said the same thing. And so you could tell how much he's liked and they're going to rally around him. But it just was one of those moments that it was like your starting quarterback who, you get to know a little bit and you obviously have a relationship with him and his dad. And it just was, it was a tough kind of unfolding of an event. And it felt like I didn't watch a single play of the second half, I don't think, because between Dylan and TJ and Pritchett, I had no idea. My mom called me after the game and asked me about the timeouts. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have to go back and watch because I was on injury watch between those two main injuries.
And it was like in succession because the only thing that happened in between was the pick.
Yeah. So
he gets hurt, then they throw the pick. And
literally the next play.
And then Pritchett gets hurt.
Yeah.
Which also was a really big loss. I mean,
he looked pissed.
Yeah. And I know that, again, Coach Rule's been very complimentary. Turner is battling and being a warrior, but you're still putting guys in positions that they really haven't been in. I mean, Turner is, going over to left. He's been playing right. He switched over to left, and then you put in Tyler Knock. It just is not.
Who's been working
ideal.
hard,
and I think the offensive line was playing well. They were playing well, and so when you lose your starting left tackle, it's going to hurt. So those two injuries, you just had two major injuries. And so that's all I was watching. So I didn't even know what happened at the end of the game. I was like, what's going on?
I do like the fact you said that the guys just they want to do more because I think that's how they have to approach UCLA, right? Everybody's got to think to themselves, okay, what can I do to make sure this is as smooth a transition as possible? And I may have to take myself to some limits that I haven't yet this season. And I think that's okay.
I really, truly believe that this is a team that will rally around TJ, and not just for TJ, but I think they'll want to do it for Dylan. I think, just knowing It's funny because I was at the women's basketball game yesterday. I did the pep rally in the morning and then had the TV show and then men's basketball last night. But at the women's basketball game, first thing in the morning, someone came up to me and said, if you didn't watch that game and see that there's progress, I don't know what you're watching. And I felt that, because I was so locked in on injury watch the second half, when I went back and did my prep work for the TV show, and knowing the proximity that I've had to Lincoln Riley and his offense is like, I walked away really, really impressed with the defense. And Coach Roll said it yesterday, a lot of guys starting to play their best football. And it just was unfortunate. I've had a couple conversations and it just stinks really badly that the injury to Dylan happened when it happened. And it's just like, at what point are these bad things going to stop happening? But I think now that that TJ's the guy, I think this will be a team that rallies around him. I think they'll really, because they care a lot about TJ, but they also probably will want to do it for Dylan. And I think we'll see a team coming out inspired on Saturday night in Los Angeles.
That'll be interesting too, because I know he was chomping at the bit to travel, and Coach Rule's probably not going to let that happen unless somehow in the next 2 days he can change his mind. But I just don't think how you can fly with the surgery and
right
the pressure in the cabin.
Like
but so cooler heads got to prevail there. But I'll be curious to see how they transition into a next chapter with their own kind of newly formed identity on offense, right? I mean, this is why Dana and Glenn and Donnie and Coach Shorts and those guys, right? This is EJ. This is where they make their money.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously now as much as you want to have the backup quarterback do the offense like the starting quarterback, they have different strengths. And I think knowing how you can tailor a game plan more, knowing that TJ's the guy, he's going to be more comfortable. We hear that Dana talk about that a lot, and just seeing how Glenn Thomas interacts, and just it's different when you're the guy, and what are you the most comfortable calling? And TJ's going to be different than Dylan in that regard. And I think the way that they've been running the football, obviously probably going to see another heavy dose of Emmett Johnson and allow that to really get you going. And then what TJ can do with his feet, it certainly opens some things up. I mean, we saw it. And so I think he will know. It just is so different. You could say you got to prepare like you're the guy. You got to be ready in that moment. But he is 18, true freshman. It's just going to feel different, I think, for him this week. And knowing that he's the guy and how they're going to build the game plan around him. He's the way his demeanor on the sideline, even when it obviously was just thrown to the fire and just a tough situation to be in, the way he was handling himself, you know that he's gonna take the right approach to this week. The hearing Coach Rule, the way he talks and believes in TJ, and not just him, talking with the other players, the way you see the different, even the older guys interact with TJ, you could just see there's a lot of belief.
He's extremely well liked, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think it's just going to be different this week, knowing that he's the guy and they're going to rally behind him. And I think TJ will have learned a great deal from Saturday and be more prepared and more ready for the moment coming up on Saturday.
All right, Jess, we're going to change gears here because last time you slapped my wrist for not talking about anything besides football.
Well, welcome to the family.
So, yeah, apparently. So, if you guys are brother,
Shane
sister, I guess I'm a cousin. I'm getting I'm just over at Thanksgiving, so I apparently anyway. So you had quite the basketball day yesterday. You said you were at the pep rally for the women, then you called the game for the men on BTN Plus, right? So, how does it feel to be right there in basketball season? Both squads get some wins. How are we feeling?
It needs its own opening day, doesn't it?
What?
It needs its own bigger opening day, doesn't it?
Men's hoops?
Just college basketball, yeah.
I mean, it kind of was, right? That's what happens when you start in November. It's still football season and volleyball season, and so it's crossover. So, but no, it was
on like a Sunday though. Could we do a Sunday? So
no,
like
that's goddamn positive Polly. She's just gonna go with it. But like basketball should have it needs a set apart.
When would you like to have the opening day?
I don't know. The couple days after Thanksgiving or December 1. I don't know. Not now.
Well, the season starts now. How are you going to push it back a month?
Fine.
You play 10 games in the month of November.
Who do you think's older between the two of us? Shouldn't I be running the show?
DB, the season starts now.
She won't give me a fine, Jessica. It's fine.
No,
How was your
obviously
day of basketball? Yeah, how
it was a good start, right? For both teams, you get in the win column. I think for the men's team, they had a little bit struggle from the outside in the first half, but got it going in the second half. And that's a team that said, look, they're going to have to make shots to continue to compete in the Big Ten. And I think they've got some shooters. They didn't shoot it as well in the first half, but loved to see what Jamarcus Lawrence was able to do. And I think Rink Mass is a difference maker. And I think we'll see how they continue to evolve. They're going to have to make shots, but I think could be a really exciting group. And I know that Coach Hoiberg likes the group. And when they can hit shots, I think they're going to be a really dangerous basketball team. And the women, same thing. I mean, I know Natalie Potts is still battling, coming back from injury, but they've got a lot of great pieces. And I think you saw that. I love Claire Johnson. I think she was a huge get out of the portal. I think she's going to be fun to watch. But Britt Prince, obviously going into her sophomore year. And I think a lot of those young players, and Maya Hargrove is unbelievable. She basically grew from a freshman to a sophomore in the middle of last year. I think they're going to see both teams in PBA this season put up a lot of points. That's for sure.
You know what's interesting? Quietly with Coach Williams and that admin staff, they have done a really good job with managing the portal, the roster, their recruiting. Like, they've done a good job, and I don't think they get enough love. Like, they've done a really good job of revamping that admin team for the vision of women's basketball.
Absolutely. And I think if you just look at I've talked to Amy Williams about this, and while they're going to absolutely, you can't compete and not utilize the portal in this day and age, but that's not going to be where their bread and butter is. They're going to continue to get and go after some of the top high school talent, and look at next year's class that they've got coming in. They've got 3 essentially top 100 recruits coming in. They've got top 10 recruit, one of the top posts in the country. You've got a really great combo guard. They have a trio of very, very talented seniors in high school that are going to be signing. I believe next week is the official signing day for those sports. So that young trio coming in with the young talent that they already have on the roster, and then you supplement with the portal. I think they've done a really good job of figuring out what works for Amy Williams' system. They want to be able to push and have the guards do everything. And so I think they've got some good pieces out of the portal this year, and then they'll reload with some extremely talented freshmen next year.
I tried to loiter last week when you had Coach Manning in the afternoon, but it didn't work out. You and I we decide, like, I know favorites are hard, but I kind of usually have a guy that I'm rolling with, and you get super close to those guys. Who, if I'm going to pick kind of an off-the-grid person or something interesting that you think I should be paying attention to with this team, who or what is it?
I feel like Christopher Minta's not really off the grid anymore, is he?
No,
but
he is going to be sensational.
He is moving up a weight class. Coach Manning thought that was better suited for him. He was pretty unselfish last year. He's just a tall, skinny guy wrestling at he's at 174, right? So he's going to move up, and then I don't know. It was pretty fascinating because you were asking me about some of maybe the younger guys, and with wrestling, you can wrestle in 5 matches and still redshirt, and so I think they're going to.
How do you remember that?
What?
Do you know how many conversations ago that was?
I don't know. It was last week. It wasn't that long ago. But I think he's going to see, because I think there's the way that Coach Manning, he's got to where he's just reloading at this point. And so you have 1, 2, or 2, 3 guys at each weight class that are battling it out in the wrestling room. And so to see who ultimately ends up being your guy. But, he's going to obviously has to be strategic about how you get those team points. And so I think he's probably going to see how some of these early preseason or early season matches go and kind of see. But I think he's going to be able to redshirt some of those guys. It's funny, Ridge Lovett actually spoke at the pep rally yesterday with Caleb Smith. And both those guys are done. But Ridge is around the program. He's training, trying to, qualify for the Olympics, all that good stuff. But he had talked about how monumental that redshirt year was for him. And so I think for some of this really young talent that they know is going to be maybe compete for national titles, it's most beneficial for them to be able to have that redshirt year. As much as you want to have them in the lineup now, ultimately, this is a program that Coach Manning wants to compete for national titles, not just this year, not just next year, but for several years in a row. And he's been able to build and stack the kind of roster that he just can reload each year. And so as much as you get really excited about some of this young talent, what's best for them and their future, and also the future of the program, and being able to continue to reload, maybe that redshirt is the best decision.
So I know he's older, and I was going to talk about LJ because he allows some flexibility for Mento from 65 to 74. But I told this to the guys, and this is a couple months ago, so it probably fell on deaf ears after we had Coach Manning on. But Chance is a guy at 149, is kind of a veteran guy. He's kind of grizzled. Did Coach Manning talk to you kind of either on or off? Well, I listened to it on, but like, what were his thoughts at like 149 with Chance and kind of him being in the program a while and some of that senior leadership?
I'll go back to last year and asking about, okay, well, when you start talking about this year and maybe who's coming up, waiting in the wings, they felt like they were going to be okay in replacing Ridge Lovett, which I think says enough right there, that I know that he felt confident in who was going to be stepping in and some of those guys at that spot. So, again, going back to that, he's been able to build at, when you lose and have to replace guys for whatever reason, whether they graduate, you replace a Lenny Pinto, but they feel like they've done enough to be able to build and stack that talent that they are going to be able to. The hope is you get better, right? And I talked to Silas Allred a couple weeks ago, and he said, look, we're going into this. We want to be better than we were last year. Well, there's only one spot better than what we were last year. They're embracing that. They're embracing that they want to compete for a national title, not just be the national runner-up. And I think that's where it starts, right? It's just they believe that they have the guys in that room at every single weight class to be able to put together a really special season. And I think it starts with that belief, not just, hey, we're going to go finish second behind Penn State. No, it's a different kind of approach. And I think this year's team fully believes that they've got the guys in the room to be able to go compete at every weight class.
Does anybody benefit more from being able to be at his natural weight as a guy that gave him everything they had as Cam McDaniel at 97?
Oh, and Coach Manning loves him. And just, when I was talking to him about who I needed to start with, because I try to get throughout the course of the season, I try to talk to every starter at every weight class throughout, from now till March. And he kind of recommended Gamden to start. He said he's a big hunter, I guess, and like will shoot and kill anything and stay up all night if he has to. And but he's like, he's got such a great personality, such a great team guy. And so you can tell how much Coach Manning loves him. And it's Coach Manning loves everybody. It's like, you ask him about anybody, he's like, oh yeah. It's like, it's hard to tell who his favorite is. I think he's just, the way he raves about all of his guys. And you could tell he's really excited about him going into this year.
The coolest thing ever was, I can't remember the home game, when on the mic you're like, hey, somebody wants to say hi to you. And I was like, oh, did she know I was just crabby and I needed that? But how about his Coach Manning's willingness to just grab your mic and headsets to talk?
Well, there's a theme here. How many days are you crabby, DB?
Okay.
The spring game, I had to snap him out of it with Ridge Lovett.
Oh, that was right. You did. You're like, hey, I have a surprise for you. And I was like, oh, what is it?
Kansas City, I just couldn't deal with you. I was done. After walking 2 miles in the stadium. But yeah, no, Coach Manning was standing down there. I know how big of a fan you are. So I just said, hey, say hi to DB. And then he just starts talking. And then you're talking to him like he can hear you.
I know.
And I'm like, dude, he can't hear you, but he says hi. That's all I want you to know. He says hi.
All right. I didn't want to just dominate, so I'll get back to football here after this last question. How do you think this staff and their temperament with kind of what Coach Manning has set for the culture How do you think it plays out with AJ and kind of his evolution?
Yeah, I mean, I think with AJ, just I think when he was at Oklahoma State, young, hotshot freshman, highly recruited, and won the national title. And then since then, it's kind of been about AJ, I think, a little bit, and just individual. I mean, he was at Cal State, Fullerton, right? And it was just basically about him probably and doing his thing and what does AJ need to do. And I think it's a different mentality when you come here, and it's about the team and the program. And look, we hear it on the football side of things too. When a transfer comes in, it's a little bit of a culture shock because it's so different from wherever you've been in. And sometimes it takes a little bit to settle into what the expectations are. I mean, how many times have we heard Coach Will and the staff talk about some of those transfers that come in and trying to get acclimated to what the expectations are and the standards? I think that probably the same can go for AJ and just the culture and what it is within Husker wrestling under Mark Manning. And it's still a work in progress. We heard Coach Manning said that, still getting him to really buy into what it is to be a Husker and wrestle with this program. But I think it will be good for him ultimately. And look, that's the spot that they needed to try to figure out a way to get points. So hopefully it continues to move in the right direction and the positive direction. But yeah, I think it's continues to be a work in progress at least last week on Wednesday when we talked to Mark Manning, he was pretty honest about it's we're still trying to settle in and figure each other out. And, as we just need him to kind of realize that it's so weird because it can be such an individual sport because you are out there by yourselves, but within Husker wrestling, it is very much about the team and what you're doing together as a team. And so I think just kind of switching that mentality, just a little bit of a process as it is. And I think probably every sport, when you go from where a culture standard is not quite what it is here and just figuring out how you fit into that.
All right, Jess. So we got football, we got women's and men's basketball, we got wrestling. I'm not prepared to talk about the start of bowling season yet, so I'm going to go to volleyball.
Oh, good one, because she gets DBK all the time.
We haven't seen them lose a set in almost 2 months at this point, and are just absolutely rolling. Like, when you do talk to DBK, which you get to do quite frequently, what is the sense you're getting about where she thinks this team is versus, because I don't know, I watch that and I go this has got to be pretty close to their ceiling, right? And then I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's not.
Jess, how does she make being so kind of regular so cool? Her demeanor is but her cool factor is through the roof.
It really is. And the players they feed off that. They buy into that. They love that. I ask every week. So I don't talk to DBK every week. I'll fill in for John Baylor when he needs it for the volleyball show. But I do talk to those assistants every single week. And that's one thing, because I feel like, I've been doing the dig now for this is my third season. And it just seems like there's stuff that you can continue to talk about, but I'm like, where can you get better? But it's just been fascinating to hear the approach with this team because they are so talented, but they are so hungry and they want to get better. And so even though for us from the outside, we see them sweep and dominate Wisconsin, they're going back to the film and okay, well, here are the things that we can get better. They're using things within individual sets, different markers that we might not know about, but hey, we want to meet this. And so it continues to challenge them because they are very, very competitive. But it's wild, and I just think it's great. I was talking to Rhonda Ravel yesterday at the training table, and we were actually talking about volleyball. And, she just blown away at the talent and just how dominant they've been. But I think going back to even what Danny did when she got here and in the spring throughout preseason and constantly mixing up the lineups. And some people might have thought, gosh, that's crazy. You need to build some continuity with your starters in that group. But I think it's obviously proven to be genius because look, if it hadn't happened yet, but if there comes a night that somebody is having an off night, you feel very confident in going to the bench and somebody coming in and stepping in. But I also think because they've been able to really separate themselves, they've allowed for the middle blockers to rest. And Manaya Obeche comes in and doesn't skip a beat. Apparently they're having a hard time keeping the red shirt on Kinnico Gill, which is also scary there at middle blocker. So the future is very bright there. But I think they've done such a good job of how they attack practices that it looks so easy, but they're getting that competition and they're just battling. I mean, the second team and how they battle out in practice, I think they've got 2 top 10 teams in that gym. I'll just say that. And so I think they have found a way to be able to sub people in and out on any given night. And the standard doesn't change. They continue to just do what they're expected to do. And it's fascinating, but it's unbelievable. I was talking to Kyle the other day. I go back to like some of the other teams in my career that I've covered, and I don't know if I have covered a more talented top to bottom team in any sport in my career.
You just freely can mix up practices with good on good, and it's got to be incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Rhonda was like, I need to try to go to a practice and see how she does things. I mean, wouldn't it? Because she asked me, she's like, have you been to practice? What's it like? Because I mean, I haven't been to practice, but I've heard about it a lot. And so
that's all everybody talks about.
So it's like, I think, again, it starts there. And so I think that's why you see such a loose, free, coaching staff on the sideline, because it's also gotten to the point where I think they can also coach themselves and they know what needs to be adjusted and tweaked. And so you notice there's not a lot of timeouts that have to be called by Nebraska to settle anything down or, address anything. Cause a lot of times they're policing themselves out there because they're just so driven and cerebral. And I think the volleyball kind of knowledge has also grown for some of those players that were freshmen and sophomore. Now they just see things. I think Harper Murray's seeing things differently, Andy Jackson. So I think it's they get to actually sit back and enjoy the show a lot of times during these matches and not actually have to coach as much because they've coached them so much. They're prepared every single match when they step on there. So yeah, it's something else, man. It is something else.
That is Jessica Coody, Husker Radio Network. Jess, did we do a good?
Oh, that is really, guys.
I don't know what we're doing.
That's
Daddy funny.
Dad.
It needs to be DB in that blanket. Though.
Yeah. Kyle has nothing to do with me. What's going on here?
You realize now we don't sit next to each other, but it is a 2-hour and some change flight on Friday.
And Kyle gets that luxury of setting up your iPods and connecting you to the Wi-Fi.
And I have to bring him back his AirPods tonight for Big Red Wrap Up because I grabbed the wrong ones. Remember when he had the flashlight looking through my bag after the game?
How about his
I gave him the wrong
login? You gonna give that back to him too?
Wait, what I do? What?
Didn't he give you his TV login because you couldn't get your ESPN to work either on Saturday?
Yeah. So Benny Mac fixed it finally for the ESPN thing, so he can have his login back. I appreciate him babysitting me there too. You make me. This is not good.
By the way, you like my Christmas trees already up?
Yeah, you're weird. I wanted to say something, but I didn't want you to fight over that too. Like, what are you just bypassing Thanksgiving?
I'm usually not the person, but my mom was up here. It's her thing, and she didn't know she's going to be up here again before Christmas. So while she's up here, and my dad was watching football, she got my Christmas tree put up. So
I'm telling you, she's the biggest baby. Now your mom is the goat, right? Dad's got the cool voice. Mom's the goat because she got my my lip balm. So shout out to her again. I said to Jess, I said, how much? What do I owe your mom? Like, is this $4 or $5? And she's like, I don't know. It's like, hey, forgot she's got a caregiver. Mom takes care of everybody. Yeah, I would have been on the struggle bus without it.
I was also trying to get 2% cookies, and we were trying to do a TikTok. So I was not even really. I didn't even hear you ask me that. Sometimes I let what you say go in one ear and out the other.
Understand your TikTok thing, like where do you get the ideas? You don't even prep us.
No, that's the beauty of it.
That sucks.
Jess, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye, Shane.
Oh God.
Bye, Shane.
There we go. That's better.
Yes, that's it. That's it right there.
Oh Lord.
That's Jessica Coody from
Hold
Husker.
on. Let me take a screenshot of that.
All right, hang on.
Oh my gosh. What are we?
I got to send that to Kyle right now.
Oh, he'll love it.
Bye, guys.
See you, Jess.
Who's doing? Is that Action Jackson?
It's either him or Rico. I don't know which.
That's fine.
It's one of those two.
I got to see Austin here in a few minutes.
It's one of those two. Let's take a.
Did he put me in the blanket? Like, nobody puts baby in the blanket.
That's where you're supposed to put babies, in the blanket.
I was not crabby in KC.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I got nothing. What I do know is
they're just
if you're
now they're just changing the faces.
What are they doing? Get one of Jess. Where's Jess in there too? Come on now. She was the one that DB was
You're
fighting
the one
with.
that called him dad.
Yes, but I was calling him your guys' dad, not my dad. I'm not the one fighting on air. I mean, I am, but with you, not during.
It was off air, not on air.
Well,
I'm telling you, it was hectic.
Everybody up there and everybody down here, settle in. Come on now. If you haven't settled in with our people over at Centris Federal Credit Union yet, you need to. It might be time to buy that first home. I know you've been looking online on the apps. It's time to finally make the jump, and Centris can help. If this is your first time buying a home, Centris has a great option called My First Home Program. It offers up to 105% financing with no private mortgage insurance needed. Plus, they have a local team of experts ready to help you every step of the way. Go to centrisfcu.org to find out more. Subject to credit approval, terms and conditions applied. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender. We will be back with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
Lateef out of the gun, handoff Makai Nelson. Whistle stop play prior to the snap. Timeout, Nebraska.
Timeout, Nebraska, first charge.
Everybody needs to settle in here.
I'll say.
Everybody up here, everybody down there, let's all settle in. Come on now. Timeout.
Oh, goodness.
What is going on?
It's anarchy.
Yeah, I thought we started things off great. We the third quarter is a little problematic for us. I thought that credit to Northwestern State for maybe slowing the tempo a little bit, finding ways to get the ball to their best player, and she made us pay there in the third quarter. But I thought Haley Weaver once again really set the tone for us defensively to start the ball game in those first two quarters. We had pretty good team defense. Well, I thought that we were playing with pretty good pace, and it's something the girls kind of noticed, that when we're staying in attack mode and really playing with pace, that we become a lot harder to guard, and we have great balance. I thought things started off there with Britt Prince, and I thought she was a little more aggressive minded to start the ball game today, and that helps. We're our best when she's thinking score.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job of bringing the physicality to the game, and we didn't. And they got 4 offensive rebounds before the first media timeout. We turned the ball over. They did a good job controlling tempo in that first half. I thought we played right into their hands by taking quick shots. And then finally we got into a little bit of a rhythm late in the half and, went on a nice little run to build a 6-point lead. And then at halftime, we talked about our pace, and we picked up, we pressured more, and that's what got us going. I thought we did a really good job of rebounding the ball in the second half and finding the open man. Sam, I think, had 4 or 5 defensive rebounds in a row and sprayed out, got Jamarcus 2 threes, I think, and Connor 1 in that stretch where we broke it open. So, our running habits were much better, I thought, in the second half. And when we do that, look forward to seeing the analytic report that we'll get tonight on our efficiency when we got out in transition in the first 6-7 seconds of the shot clock, because that certainly appeared to be when we were at our best tonight.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Matt Stevens. He is an analyst for UCLA football. Matt, how are we doing this morning?
Doing pretty good. Sunny in San Diego, so we're looking forward to playing Nebraska here at the Rose Bowl.
I'm glad you did us a solid being up early on West Coast time, and we'll try to return the favor, as I think our flight's scheduled to be back about 5 a.m. this Saturday, man. It is. What do you think we're walking into, kind of as a fan base? You and I do the exact same job for our respective teams. What kind of temperament is this team walking into on Saturday night?
Well, UCLA, after the Indiana game, they were pretty depressed. And, they were on a win streak. They've been playing well. And to just get drubbed by Indiana. I mean, and about the Indiana team, they don't have an A player, but all of them are A-. And that's the most well-coached team I've seen. I mean, Curt Cignetti should be in the NFL. And then having a bye week and watching Indiana go to Maryland and throttle Maryland, I think made UCLA feel a lot better, just for the simple fact that they ran into, probably one of the top 2 teams in the country. UCLA, they got a lot of firepower. They got a star at quarterback, Diko Iamaleava. He can throw, he can run. He's a big guy. He's 6'6", size 17 shoes. He can do a lot. They're also going to have their full arsenal of running backs back. Anthony Wood, that's one of the keys. But they have 4 running backs that can play all the time. But this team, I think, with a week off, was able to digest that thumping in Indiana, and I think they're ready to go.
So I was kind of charting this. The offensive efficiency since the coaching change has gone down each week. Do you think it plateaued enough to where they have enough data points to go back and tweak during the bye week where you actually have time to self-scout?
Well, the real problem was they didn't have their left guard against Indiana, and they were without really 2 healthy running backs or 2 starters. And when UCLA can run the ball, I mean, they're gonna do really well because they're a very balanced attack, and it makes Iamaleava more of a passer. He doesn't have to run all the time. So I think really a clean bill of health by their tailback and a left guard is going to be the key.
Yeah, man, it is kind of a unique rushing attack that UCLA's rolled out there so far. 4 different guys over 200 yards, but as you mentioned, Nico leading the way as the only guy with over 300. What do you expect now that everybody's healthy? How do you expect that rotation to look?
Well, I still think it's going to be, Anthony Woods and Javion Thomas starting the game. You're going to see a lot of Jalen Berger. They're still going to have a 3 or 4 tailback rotation because they're all so different. But I think UCLA, they're going to start out running the ball. That's going to have to be the key. They come out and they pass too much. They fall behind. That just puts too much pressure on Imaliava. And they need to throw the ball over the middle and get their tight end involved. Their tight end, who's the starter, hasn't had a catch in 3 games. So I think he's going to be a key in the offense for UCLA.
Oh my gosh, it's like Bizarro world. We're talking about the exact same things. Where Nebraska's intermediate passing game and their tight ends need to get involved too. And another place they're very similar is rush defense statistics. Is it just kind of how they have to manage, or are there places that you see over the bye that they can shore up as Nebraska comes to town?
Well, the problem with the defense, they've been playing really well. Kevin Coyle is now the defensive coordinator, and Tim Skipper is more of a defensive mind. And the problem with the defense for UCLA is they're on the field the whole game. I mean, UCLA has been 3 and out, and it's really sort of discouraging with the defense. The defense has really picked it up. They play more of a 4-3 look now. They add Jalen Woods at linebacker. They probably have some of the best corners in all of college football. And I know I just made a big statement, but I'm dead serious. They got corners that they're on an island and they can lock anybody down.
Matt, so what do you expect the atmosphere to be like in the Rose Bowl this weekend? Like, I know that sometimes, especially when the team isn't playing necessarily very well, it can be sort of a sleepy atmosphere, but it is a night game. I expect a decent amount of Nebraska fans to be there as well. Like, what do you think you're walking into Saturday night?
I think you're really going to be walking into about 45, 50,000, and with the tarps over the end zone, it's going to look full. I think it's going to be pretty, attractive game for people in California for the simple fact that Dodgers are done playing. They won the World Series, so that takes away a lot of fans, and now you can focus on football. I think it'd be a good crowd. I mean, UCLA has begun to be popular again. They had that win streak. They played well, and like I said, they have a star quarterback, and everybody wants to go see him. And this Tim Skipper, whole interim coach thing's a really great story. I really like him. I hope he becomes the coach, to tell you the truth, but the powers that be will make that decision.
So, I mean, that you just hit my follow-up question there. What chances do you think there are that he actually does get at least legitimate consideration to be the head coach? I'm having a really hard time kind of figuring out what the coaching candidate looks like for UCLA.
Well, first of all, UCLA is a very attractive school. Simple fact, it's in LA. The other thing is they are returning a ton of skill positions. I mean, everywhere, offense, defense, they got guys coming back. They need to, get big butts, offensive and defensive linemen in the portal. That'll be the key. But it's an attractive job. For Tim Skipper to stay, he has to go 3-1, to have a chance. I don't think, and it's not going to be easy. Nebraska, Ohio State, I'm going to say that's a loss. I mean, they're better than Indiana. And then you got Washington at home. They go on SC on the road. But he has to go 3-1 to keep the job. And like I said, my fingers are crossed for him. He's just such a breath of fresh air, too. I mean, he's so positive. He's not afraid to make changes. He'll play anybody on the bench. So I'm a big fan.
Let me ask you something, Matt, because it's interesting. Because I think one of the things that people thought Deshaun Foster could and would do is kind of rally the alumni and the donor group and kind of unite that front. From a cash efficiency standpoint, you talked about needing to go out and get big bodies. Is it still an attractive place outside of the Los Angeles thing financially for the Bruins?
Well, I mean, for a football player to come to UCLA, there's no problem with NIL. That's not an issue. They have big donors. The big donors, though, just want to see everything run efficiently. They want to see, if they're going to keep Tim Skipper, well, what's the plan? And if they're going to get a new coach, well, what's that plan? I think there just needs to be a lot more commitment, maybe at the top, more at the coaching and player level. That's not a problem at all. And, everybody wants to play in the Rose Bowl. There was an article out that UCLA was considering moving to SoFi. There's 20 years left on the lease. That's, I'd rather, if I were a player, I'd want to play at the Rose Bowl. I think anybody does. So I didn't get that one. But, yeah, I mean, it's an attractive place to be. They just got to work some things out on the top.
So, it's interesting that what you mentioned about NIL being there. I think from the outside, people look at UCLA as a program that might have money problems. Where do you think that misconception comes from? It seems like there's a big disconnect.
Maybe Chip
the
Kelly.
$220 million, the $220 million deficit in the athletic department is sort of a sore thumb. Yeah, that sticks out. But I think that will get worked out. There's a plan now. They're in the Big Ten. But like I said, they're just huge donors at UCLA, and there's a lot of former players that care about the program, that are vested, and are wanting to make sure this thing gets turned around. Now, the athletic department and the school got to work on the deficit, but I think the football program is definitely a priority.
So let me ask you about special teams, man. It's got to be portable for Nebraska. I think they, at best broke even a week ago against Southern Cal. What do you think special teams brings to the table come Saturday night?
Well, it's a good question, because Tim Skipper has always had something up his sleeve every game on special teams. You've seen onside kick, you fake punt, fake field goal. They do things, and I think they like to do things on special teams to keep it interesting, not only for the other team, but also for them. They like trick plays. So you got to be on your game, and then they have a great field goal kicker that's going to the NFL, Mateen Bagani. He's very, very good, and he's going to have a long enough career, like I said.
Matt, when you kind of look at big picture for UCLA here, whether it's Tim Skipper or somebody else that they bring in, like, what is sustained success looking like in your mind at UCLA for the football program?
Win the Big Ten, go to the college football playoffs. I mean, it's not 7 or 8 wins, 9 wins, or whatever. I mean, it's win the Big Ten and go to the college football playoffs. I mean, you're talking to a guy that played in the 80s. I was a quarterback back then, and we were going to Rose Bowls. I went to 3 Rose Bowls, Fiesta Bowl, and a Freno Bowl. We won them all. And then after that was Troy Aikman, and he won, 2 bowl games. I mean, there's a high bar at UCLA. And, in between all those wins, we got our butt kicked by Nebraska. I mean, some of the best teams I've ever seen. 42-10 loss against Nebraska was a success. But you're going to have great football teams that you're going to get beat by, but the bar needs to be set high, and it needs to stay there. And 7-8 wins, no one's buying that. I mean, it's LA. I mean, you got USC. Everybody hates USC. You want to be better than USC. They're striving for the same thing: the Big Ten title, college football playoffs.
So, Matt, let me ask you something about the matchup without Dylan and different quarterback, profiles coming into town with TJ coming back home. Does that present a different kind of challenge, or does you think UCLA, giving Skipper kind of being a defensive mind, plays the way that he's going to play?
I think UCLA is going to stop the run, and that's going to be the key. I mean, Emmett Johnson is an elite back. And I think they're going to stack the box. They're going to run a 4-3. You're going to see the safeties up. And with the really good corners, like I said, that can play man-to-man on the outside, they're going to stop the run and force Nebraska to throw. And Tim Skipper, Kevin Coyle, they are very good coaches and have strategies for every game. I mean, and they don't run the same thing all the time. And UCLA does have the beef up front. Their edge, rushers are okay. They need to hold the ground against the run, but that's going to be the game plan, I assume.
That's Matt Stevens, color analyst for UCLA. Great stuff, Matt. We appreciate the time, and DB will see you.
Yeah,
this
I'm looking forward. Yeah, I'll come say hey on Saturday, man. Looking forward to the trip.
We'll keep the weather right around 75 for you.
Hey, we're going to be at like 67 today. We're doing pretty good today.
All right. I like it. Yeah, we want you to stay used to that weather then. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
That is Matt Stevens. He is the color analyst for UCLA football and a former quarterback at UCLA.
Pretty rosy for the Rose Bowl.
I was
he's optimistic.
I was surprised to hear his answer about long-term, what he thinks, or like
not 7-8 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. has UCLA ever been that? I mean, I know he's talking about going to Rose Bowls and stuff like that in the 80s, but like long term, has that ever been who they are? Also, Pac-12 in the 80s and Big Ten today are not the same animal.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the expectation level, I don't know. I think maybe you stay with Skipper because he clearly understands
the place,
because that may be the biggest thing in terms of finding a coach, if in fact that is the expectation level.
But I think there is also
But it's not like any coach is going to want to come there and say, well, I don't want to win. It's just about how close are the expectations to reality.
Right. And so I don't.
It is kind of nice to hear another school have that same mentality. It's kind of refreshing, because Nebraska is kind of looking for that same sort of thing right now.
So, I mean, just for frame of reference, it takes approximately, for the most part, it's going to take 10 wins to make a college football playoff, right?
Yeah.
Most years.
Yeah.
That to feel good about. And he said win the Big Ten, too.
Certainly
so we're not.
Certainly have to average greater than 9.5. Yeah.
So, and he said win the Big Ten. So we're not just talking about getting fourth place in the Big Ten and getting in, right? Like he said win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So the last time UCLA had do you know the last time UCLA had 10 regular season wins?
Oh, geez.
Regular season.
10 in the regular season?
Regular season.
Has to be late 90s.
1998.
Yeah. Wow.
They had 10 in back-to-back years with Jim Mora in 13-14, but those were 9 in the regular season. They won their bowl game. They had 10 with Carl Durrell, of all people, in 2005. But that was a 9-2 with a bowl game win. Then you have to go all the way back to the Bob Toledo, Cade McNown years, and they had one of those. I think, my God, they might only have one ever. 10-win regular season.
Shane, you still think that's fun?
110-win regular season?
No, the expectations.
I didn't say it was fun. I just said it was refreshing. At least we're not the only ones looking for that.
So there's 2.
Am I getting hammered on that for that?
No, I'm not going to hammer you.
I mean, it is not a fun thing.
I'm just doing a quick scan here. I believe there are 2 10-win regular seasons ever. Do you want to guess when the second one was? You shouldn't know, and if you do, I might hit you. Just so you know.
57.
Pretty close. 1946. They went 10-0 and then lost in the Rose Bowl with Bert Laboucherie as their head coach.
Laboucherie. What up?
So that's why I gave you the look I gave when he said that, because that's aggressive.
Yeah.
And if you're UCLA, then does promoting the interim match up with that level of expectation?
Let me ask you something. When's the last time Nebraska won 10 regular season games?
I mean, it's no earlier than 2001.
Okay.
But you also have an aggressive history of it before that.
I understand.
Right? But I also don't think very many people right now, like in this moment, would say, like, the goal would be college football playoff. I don't think the goal would say win the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
Because that's –
no, I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I do.
Because that's
the
and again, the history does matter there. Like, that's literally –
and I think the degree of proximity to expectations versus what does time tell me?
Yeah, what is history?
The closer connected those things are, the better transition you have for the job.
And like not to address the elephant in the room here or anything, but Nebraska doesn't have a $300 million athletic deficit either.
No, I understand.
Which that feels like it matters. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Like long term, especially going forward in college football right now, the $300 million deficit seems like it matters a bit. I don't know. I was a little stunned to hear that was the expectation.
No, I'm with Daniel. And I know it's not a popular take, but I've said it since I've been on the air. Nebraska's success here, given the landscape and proximity of population, is more an anomaly than an expectation.
I get that. I
don't even think it's debatable.
Here's the thing that I think we overlook in college sports success, though. I think the single greatest factor in being successful in college sports is how much you care. Like, look at all the successful programs.
Yeah, because
regardless of
if
population,
you care about it, you'll follow. Your pocketbook will follow.
Like, regardless of population centers, regardless of geography, the one thing that is translatable, regardless, like, is there I mean, I know that we like the hotbed of talent in the Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason Tuscaloosa should be a hotbed of college football talent.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason Tuscaloosa should be more successful than Miami. There's no reason for that. Yeah. There's no reason Baton Rouge should be more successful than Austin.
Baton Rouge.
You know what I mean? Like, there's like the only thing
Action Jackson is moving like a guy that knows Jacob Padilla is on a time crunch.
I'm acting like a guy that Jacob Padilla isn't here yet. So that's how I'm acting.
What a Richard. Like, it just rolls right off the tongue. Jeez.
I think that's a good place to stop for today. But before we do, I got to remind you.
Listen. Oh, so I know it's Suave because Action Jackson's here. Keep that up because considering she's missed, I want to keep that up. I want to take a screenshot. I'm going to get that one too. How you like them apples, Jess?
Speaking of stopping by, make sure you stop by Edwards Auto Village Point, November 8th, this Saturday, 2 to 5:30 p.m. UCLA was nice enough to host us at 8 p.m., so you got plenty of time to get out to Village Point in the afternoon to check out all they've got going away. It is their grand opening Ultimate Duck Tailgate, and it goes to a good cause. Every $5 rubber duck that you buy can help to benefit Children's Nebraska and Team Jack Foundation. Get all the details at filltheflock.com. and be there for the grand opening of Edwards Auto Village Point. STB, I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.